What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing today? It is Friday, and y'all know what that means. That means we're gonna have us a good old time tonight. I am your host, Emmanuel Noizette. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight, guys. We are going to talk about some of the news from the week. We've got a couple of things that we definitely have to talk about. Right now, I think what is it? Star Wars. Do they have a sexist problem? We'll talk about that. Then we have the decline or maybe the end of movie theaters. How many times has that come around? We'll talk about that. And then, of course, our main topic, probably towards the end, is going to be, yep, you guessed it, yet again, another Blade rumor. But we will talk about all of that along with other things as well. But let me see who is here tonight. Let's get some quick shout outs as we wait for more people to come into the chat. Paulette, how you doing? Good to see you. Last of my kin, good to see you as well. Ism, how you doing? Jerome, thank you for making it. Screaming Monkey, good to see you again. Come on through. Ms. Harper, shout out to you. What is going on? My man Didier's back. How you doing? T-Ville, thank you so much for being here. Zia, thank you so much for being here as well. Eric, good to see you. My man Dre is back in the building. Shout out to Krista Pratt and the rest of the mod squad. Thank you for holding it down. Jay, how you doing? Deborah, good to see you. Did you finish Daredevil? I know you were watching Daredevil. Did you get a chance to finish it? Because I am interested in seeing how you felt about that, so we can live vicariously through you again. But thank you so much for being here. My man Nelson is back. Good to see you. 60 plus in the building. How you doing? Kimmy, how are you? Tracy, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Treese, good to see you. Who else? I see Jesus, good to see you. Thank you so much for making it out. My man Minister Crush, thank you so much. Who else did I see? Santos, thank you for being here. Sim, thank you. I appreciate you coming through. Cal Payne, how you doing? Good to see you. My man Dex of Reason. Shout out to you for coming out. Let's see. Who else did I see? Stephanie, thank you so much for being here. Holding it down. Taz, appreciate you coming through. My man, Mr. Mitchell, thank you for being here. What's up, Jay? Thank you for being here as well. Ray, appreciate you. Theo, how you doing from across the pond? My man, Stamina MC, thank you for being here. Angel, holding it down with the rest of the mod squad. What's up? Dorian, hello. Talented One, Batman, Tyra, who else? David, Bose, who else did I see? George, Mama J, Diane, Mario, good to see you guys. Appreciate you all coming through. It's Sheed. How you doing? Let's see. Kristen, who's a bot? Is there a bot? Listen, that's what the whatchamacallit's here. Or is that me? Hold on. Do I need a mic check? Okay. Let me just double check the settings. Thank y'all for letting me know just in case. Let's see. No, my mic is cool. Okay, I got the right mic. Echo cancellation, reduce mic noise. Let's see if that works. Is this any better? Is this any better? Let me know if the mic is okay. Still feedback? Is it still? Hold on. I don't know what to do. I'm good now. Is everything okay? Let me know if I'm still okay. I'm getting some thumbs up, so I think we're okay. Okay. All right, cool. I don't know. I hit a button, so I don't know. As long as everybody's cool and I'm not sounding like a bot. But shout out to everybody that's made it out tonight, and thank y'all for keeping your boy on track with the audio. So by the way, Tracy, we will get to yours because that is a topic for later. So I will get to your comment very soon. And I want to give a quick shout out to Charlissa. Shout out to the homie. She gave $45 in a CashApp. And she is one of the contributors to this channel. And one of the reasons why we don't have to be running ads and stuff like that. So thank you to you, and thank you to everybody else that has contributed to this channel. All speaking of which, Rabia, thank you so much. Hey, E-Man and E-Fam, happy Friday. Yes, indeed. Happy Friday. Right back to you. Thank you so much. All right, guys, we do not listen. I know I say this often, but I think I mean it this time. We're not going to be here for 3 hours. Replay gang, if we're here for 3 hours, shut up in advance. We are not going to be here for 3 hours. I don't think we have that much news to do that. So I think we're going to be all right. We're going to keep it under 3 because I do need to eat dinner and I'm hungry. So we're going to blow through these news updates and we will get to it in just a sec. Let me get this up here for you. All right. So first up, we have got to talk about, let's get here. All right. Jake Paul. Jake Paul. I was about to get Logan Paul. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Now, it's been talked about how Jake Paul has always had these gimmicky fights. And for some reason, he has this affinity, I guess, of wanting to fight retired, older black men. I don't know why, but that apparently this is his thing. I do feel a little ways about that because it's a little awkward that he has a very specific niche that he wants to fight all the time. But one thing cannot be denied. It's still entertaining and people still tune in. And I'd be lying to y'all if I told you I didn't and I wasn't going to tune in. But the whole Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, which is supposed to be coming on to Netflix, has definitely got people talking. It's definitely going to do some numbers, especially coming on Netflix. Netflix is already turning things up when it comes to live sporting events and stuff. And I'm be honest, just like I have for all the other fights that Jake Paul's been in, I'm rooting for the other guy. I'm rooting for Iron Mike. I mean, if y'all have seen Iron Mike, and I'm not talking about prime Iron Mike, I'm talking about Iron Mike just recently, just posting videos of himself training. He looks scary. This guy he was already a freak of nature. And just because he's older, he's not going to be your typical 50, almost 60-year-old that's trying to get back into boxing. The guy is still scary. But unfortunately, it seems as though Father Time might be catching up with Mike just a little bit because, in case you didn't know, he did have a recent health scare over the week, and that is obviously going to affect the current match. And we are now getting an official postponement for the match. This is coming from Netflix directly. It says here the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson live boxing event scheduled for July 20th has been postponed due to Tyson's recent ulcer flare-up. Tyson will need to pause training and the fight against Paul will be rescheduled for later this year. This is coming from Mike Tyson while he was saying this to Netflix. Unfortunately, due to my ulcer flare-up, I have been advised by my doctor to lighten my training for a few weeks to rest and recover. My body is in better overall shape than it's been since the 90s, and I will be back to my full training schedule soon. Jake Paul, this may have bought you some time, but in the end, you will still be knocked out and out of boxing for good. Always the salesman. I love it. Listen, I'm not even close to Mike Tyson's age, and my body hurts. Like I've been in the gym and having back pains, and so I can only imagine. Mike Tyson's almost 60. Is he 60? I don't know. Is it? Anybody know how old Mike Tyson is? Let me see. Because I think he's 57. He's 57 years old. I'm not even close to that. And I already feel older in terms of my body. And Mike Tyson is about to jump into a ring with somebody, what, 3 decades younger than him? I know he a freak of nature and all that, but sheesh, bro, take a seat, sir. You know, I want to respect my elders. Take a seat, relax. It ain't that serious. If you need to relax, first of all, I don't even know if you need to fight him at all. I'm here for the entertainment, but I'm really here for Mike Tyson being healthy and staying healthy first and foremost. I'm not going to endorse the beating of senior citizens. Okay, my man is already qualified for AARP. Okay, he's getting that blue plate special at the diner. So I'm just saying, you don't have to do this. Okay, I don't know what his money situation is, but I just want Mike to be healthy. I want him to be okay. I don't want him to rush into anything because yikes. Yikes. You know, the one thing that's undefeated is Father Time. Okay, so I'm wishing the best for Mike. I hope he is, you know, I hope this ulcer thing is not going to be serious for him. I hope that he'll recover. And yeah, but anyway, y'all let me know, what do you think about this delay in the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight? Are you disappointed? Are you happy that Mike is taking care of himself? Are you even going to tune in? And most importantly, who are you rooting for? Are you team Mike Tyson, or are you rooting for Jake Paul? Like, y'all let me know what you think in the comments down below. All right. Let's see. It's she. That shirt is fire. Thank you so much. That's because Blade is fire. Okay. And shout out to the great Wesley Snipes. Thank you so much for that, sir. I appreciate you. All right. We have an update on National Treasure. Now, I don't know if you recall, but National Treasure was definitely a hit when it came out. This was something that starred Nick Cage, and you know, it was in this whole time frame where I want to say the early 2000s, and you know, heist movies were actually kind of cool. You know, the Da Vinci Code, you know, books came, the movie was out, or I think it came out around that time, maybe a little later. Ocean's 11 was, you know, this is around the time frame where just heist movies in general were really popular, and National Treasure was no exception to that. I really enjoyed the first one, and I really enjoyed the second one, but I'd be lying to you if I told you I remember what happened. All I know is somebody stole something historic and important, and I forget if it was Nick Cage that did the stealing or if he stole it from somebody else's stuff. I don't remember anything. All I remember is that I liked the movies when they came out. That's all. I just remember the feeling, right? But for a long time, Nick Cage has, you know, been in talks or been talking about National Treasure, about how he'd like to do it. Some of the cast have said they want to come back, so on and so forth. But it looks like we actually have a clearer update, maybe a more optimistic update about the future for National Treasure. It says here, this is from the director, John Turteltaub. He says here that all principal actors, including Nick Cage, want to make the action adventure sequel. So they all want to come back for National Treasure 3. He says here in a quote, "There's a very, very good writer writing it right now who tends to write really good movies. And if the script comes out close to good and you can see the finish line from where you are, we're making the movie." Okay. So I don't think he revealed who the writer is, but it sounds like it's a writer with a very, very good track record. Now, I want y'all to remember this. This movie came out, I say early 2000. This was 2004. This movie is 20 years old. 20 years old. if they make another movie, that thing probably won't even come out for another 2-3 years, if that. And that's being super optimistic. Like, they get the green light, they find a director, writer, everybody's schedule works out. I'd say 2 to 3 years old, coming out. Are y'all checking for this? I'm just saying, is the demand there? Do y'all still want to see a national treasure? Because I know Nick Cage still wants to do it. I'm just curious of whether or not the interest is still there for a property that hasn't been rekindled. I mean, I think they had like a little TV series or something. I want to say the TV series. Didn't they have a TV series? But then didn't it get canceled or something? Like, ah, 20 years? So there was another little bit here that the director was saying, and he was saying, like, he teased what it could be about. Look at Ned Stark right there. And the question was like, yo, what will National Treasure 3 even be about? And while the director kept the plot close to his chest, he did hint at the return of another character from the very beginning, and that was Sean Bean's villainous role, Ian Howe. And he asked if Howe was now out of prison now that 2 decades have passed, and the director teased, fantastic question. The answer is yes, or about to be yes. And I know that sounds like National Treasure 3 hint, but I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying it is. So apparently the villain is about to get out of prison. When I tell you, I don't even remember what he did. What did he do? Because I still don't remember this movie. I don't know. Should I be like excited that he's coming out? Should I be scared that he's coming out? I don't know, because I don't remember. I'm gonna just say, I don't even know if a trailer will be enough to get me excited for this. Because what are you gonna show me in a National Treasure 3 that's at that point going to be 22, 23, 4 years old that we haven't seen before? What are you going to do? What are you going to show me? I want to make another point, but I'm going to save it for a little bit later. But y'all let me know, what do you think about National Treasure 3 making a potential comeback? It's not official, but they're working on it. Is this something you're going to watch? Do you need a trailer? Are you already locked in? Do you not care? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Jay, what you got? With the first National Treasure, the only thing I remember is that Sean Bean as the villain surprisingly did not die. Wow. That is shocking. That is shocking, because y'all know Sean Bean like a good death. This man, like, if it's a movie, Sean Bean gonna die. That's one thing. Listen, life, death, taxes, Sean Bean dying in a movie. That's only things, man. All right. Well, let's move on. Okay. So we have a He-Man update. In case you didn't know, He-Man, or Masters of the Universe, it has been a movie, it's been a franchise that has been, I don't want to say production hell, but it's been on and off. Nobody knows. Is it going to happen? Netflix reportedly spent almost $30 million just to kind of do like a pre-pilot type of thing to see if it'll work. It didn't work. They passed on it. And then I want to say that I think, don't quote me, but I think Amazon might have picked it up, and there was talks that was going to happen. I forget the kid's name, Noah something, was gonna be He-Man, and we was looking at him like, how are you gonna be He-Man? Because you're not You're not even swole. Like, what? How's that gonna work? And that just kind of fell aside, and nobody knew exactly what was going on. But apparently, He-Man is back, and Masters of the Universe has found their new He-Man, and it is none other than this guy. Y'all know who he is? Me neither, because I barely know him. But his name is Nicholas Galitzine. Galitzine. Man, I probably butchered that. Nicholas Galitzine, Galitzine, I think. He is going to be your new He-Man. Okay, here he is. He was recently in a movie with Anne Hathaway, The Idea of You. I don't know if y'all even saw that, but he is going to be playing the blonde barbarian He-Man. The movie is going to be directed by Bumblebee director Travis Knight, so I think that's a good thing. This movie, the long delayed film, will be released in theaters June 5th, 2026. So they better hurry up and get started on this. Now we do have the plot details about this story are kept under wraps, but the previous plot that was from the studio says Masters of the Universe follows Prince Adam, aka He-Man, who crashes to Earth in a spaceship as a child and decades later returns to his home planet to defend it from the evil forces of the baddie known as Skeletor. But in order to defeat the powerful villain, he needs to uncover the mysteries of his past and become He-Man, referred to in this world as the most powerful man in the universe. That entire plot sounds stupid as hell to me. I'm sorry. It just sounds so stupid. Why do you need He-Man? Why do you need He-Man having a Superman story? Why is he even going to Earth? Why is he in a spaceship? What is the purpose of that? Why are you forcing He-Man to come to Earth at all? What's the home planet that they on? Was it Eternia or whatever? Keep him on his planet. He don't need no Superman origin story. What you trying to do? Trying to give He-Man a New York accent or something? What is the purpose? Why? For what? I don't need He-Man on Earth. Everything about He-Man is fantasy and magic and all of that. Why is he bothered? Earth is ghetto. Why is he over here in the Milky Way ghetto? We don't need him. Keep him over there in Eternia and all that. I don't get it. I don't get it. This is probably why the stuff keeps getting delayed. This is probably it. This is because who the hell thought of this? Like, listen, even on Netflix, the Masters of the Universe series that they have on there. I know some people was giving it flack or whatever. I actually liked it because it stayed in that universe. It kept the same energy with all the lore. You got a background for Skeletor and all this stuff. They did what they needed to do. So I guess. But anyway, I don't know very much about this guy. I know he's in that, I guess it's a romantic comedy with Anne Hathaway. But that's what he looked like. This y'all He-Man? I mean, I guess he gonna have to hit the gym, right? Like this is looking very Prince Adam-ish, which is fine. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? If you want to make that Prince Adam, that's cool. I'm just saying, I don't know. Hold on, let's for the people that just don't know. Like, He-Man is a barbarian. Okay? He-Man is a barbarian. Look at him. He-Man's muscles don't even make sense. His body don't make sense. Okay? He-Man been juicing If you want to call that magic, fine. But my man been juicing. But to me, why this is not Alan Richson is beyond me. This is the easiest casting that you can make. Why is Reacher not He-Man? I'm not saying he got to play Prince Adam. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why are we not doing a dual casting? Why are we not saying, okay, Nicholas, you gonna play Prince Adam and let Reacher play He-Man? My man's already, like, he's literally built for this. This dude is built to play He-Man. So what y'all finna do? Y'all gonna CGI his muscles? Is that what we really finna do? We gonna CGI muscles now? You gonna put him in a muscle suit? I mean, listen, even if he goes and gets in the gym, for a movie that's gonna come out in like 2 years, which means that they probably not gonna shoot until next year. It's very hard to put muscle on like that. Not without, certain shortcuts. But that's very hard to do. Bro, you're not about to get no He-Man shape. Okay? You might get toned. You might add, a little something. You're not going to look like that barbarian. I don't know. Y'all, listen. Y'all let me know. What do you think about your new He-Man? Are you feeling the casting? Are you skeptical? We don't have all the details because for all we know, maybe they still will hire someone else to play the villain, the He-Man role. I don't know. But whatever you guys think, please feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Ernest, what you got? Thank you so much. The fact is, they made 5 Bad Boy movies. 5. And I have no desire to see it. I don't remember the plot of National Treasure. I did love the movie. So I think we're in the same boat. I don't know where all 5 Bad Boys came from, but all right, cool. But yeah, I think we're on the same page with that. Thank you so much. Jay, what you got regarding Sean Bean? Since his TNT show Legends, he actually no longer plays characters who died because for him, it became predictable to audiences. That's actually really good. That's good because that and I like the fact that that's what he chose to do because it was becoming a running joke that every time he was in, people just knew you finna die. So that I like that he was conscious of that and that he made a different choice. I'm happy about that. All right. Let me give y'all a trigger warning because I know I got some scary butts. I'm not gonna play no video, but I am gonna talk about It. Yes, It, the Stephen King horror series, all of that. We're gonna talk about it. It's not nothing crazy, but I know some I ain't gonna name no names, but some people have a fear of clowns, and I'm not trying to traumatize y'all. Okay. But when it came to It, I really liked It Chapter 1. I thought it was really, really good. It Chapter 2, not as much. Like it just didn't hit the same way. And of course the TV series. We had I want to say 2 TV series that happened where basically you had one in the early, I want to say the 90s, and then you had another one come a little bit more recently. And I like both of them. I thought they were both cool at the time that they were made. But the one thing that has been announced was that we were going to get a prequel series for It. And that was going to be coming to HBO Max. I believe it was called Welcome to Derry or something like that. And it was just going to show possibly the last 27 years. Cause I want to say like, Pennywise only shows up every 20 something years or something like that. There was a hint of that in I think it was It Chapter 2. Y'all remember that scary old lady? Ooh, that was a good scene. That was a good scene with the naked scary old lady. Didn't I tell you? What have I told y'all about horror movies? Who did I tell y'all not to trust? Come on now. Didn't I told y'all don't trust them little kids, and don't trust them old white ladies. And what did It Chapter 2 do? It gave you the old white lady. I'm not making this up. I'm telling y'all. Anyway, that scene was really good. I like that scene. But with that said, and I see y'all talking about no video. Ain't no video to play. I'm not playing no video, okay? So y'all can relax. Now there will be a picture, but there ain't no video, so relax. God, y'all so scary, man. So with the Welcome to Derry, we didn't really have a lot of details outside of the fact that it was a prequel, but there was one thing that absolutely was needed, and I'm so relieved that we're actually getting this update. But Bill Skarsgård is actually set to come back to play Pennywise in the prequel Welcome to Derry. He's actually going to star in it and executive produce it as well. So that is I think very good news. Bill Skarsgård, I'm sorry, the picture got a little bigger. Relax. I think y'all can handle the picture now. I got the dark picture, so it ain't too bad. But Bill Skarsgård, man, he did a phenomenal job as Pennywise. I still I still love I know it's bogus. But I like the way how he was messing with the little boy George. You know, the boy, he took his arm and all that stuff with the little bolt and stuff. Listen, I just like the way he said his name. Georgie? Hello, Georgie. Georgie? Don't you want to come and play, Georgie? Like, I just like this. I thought it was funny every time he would do that. Georgie? But Bill is a great actor. He is a great actor. He's a very good physical actor. So I really love the fact that he actually got this role back and he's coming back. Because honestly, if they did not have him back, I would have been very skeptical. But now I think that I'm actually more comfortable looking forward to it. I'm not going to say I'm excited, but I am looking forward to what they're going to bring now that he's back on board. So anyway, you guys let me know. Does this pique your interest now that Bill Skarsgård is coming back to play Pennywise? Were you already maybe too scared to even watch it in the first place? Whatever you think, please feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Oh, did he? Plus, the 90 series came out 27 years before the part 1 movie. Great fact. Thank you so much for that. That's really dope. Listen, I like it when stuff like that happens. I like it when we get those type of, double entendres. I don't know if that's even the right word, but yeah, thank you for that. Great fact. Great fact. Let's see. All right. Oh yeah. Let's talk about this too. All right. 300. I am not going to give a disclaimer about Zack Snyder because I want to make sure people understand that actually this is a disclaimer. I like Zack Snyder, okay? And I know that I've had a lot of criticisms about Zack Snyder in the past, of course. But one thing that I have always appreciated from Zack Snyder is 300. 300 is absolutely one of those movies that I have been so in love with that, for no reason, I'm just screaming, "This is Sparta." To this day. Just random. Just, if I ever get mad about something and I'm just like, yo, man, I'm just feeling that. Yo, this is Sparta. This is Sparta. Okay. If I got to release some energy or something like that, I'm going to just randomly kick something and let that thing know this is Sparta. This movie was phenomenal. Gerard Butler was amazing. The cinematography, the visuals, the action, the replayability is still popping for this movie. Like, if this come on TNT, I'm gonna stay and watch with the commercials. Okay, that's how you know you got a good movie. But we have an update here about it. And I will say this though, there was a sequel. Yeah. What was it called? Rise of 300 or something like that? Yeah. Didn't it? It didn't hit the right way. It didn't hit the same way. It didn't hit the same. It was all right, but it was one of those come and go type of movies. But 300, that's a classic. I ain't gonna say cult classic. That is a classic. But we have an update here about 300 that might pique some people's interest. It says here a 300 TV series adaptation is in early development at WB Exact plot details are still being worked out, but sources say that the show would serve as a prequel to the 2006 film. Deals are still being negotiated, but Zack Snyder, who directed and co-wrote 300, is in talks to direct and executive produce the series. Wow. Wow. So, now this is interesting. So, I believe on the Rise of the 300, Zack Snyder did not direct that movie. I think he co-wrote it, or maybe he was involved as a producer, but he didn't direct it. I'm a little iffy on this. I'm iffy on this for a couple reasons. One, I like the fact that Zack Snyder is coming back because, like I said, I think this is one of his best things that he's ever done. Like, Man of Steel, cool, but 300 coming out of nowhere with zero expectations blew everybody out the water. The violence, the action, the cinematography, the visual, beautiful. So I like the fact that he's coming back. However, Zack Snyder of 2006 ain't the Zack Snyder of 2024. I've seen what you did with Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon has elements of 300 in it. For no real reason, you got this, I guess, Native American like character that walks around with no shirt on, got a six-pack, and he likes to do slow motion jumps in the air. So you getting that little taste of 300 in Rebel Moon. I'm worried, just like in Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder is going to take the things that made 300 great and spam them and abuse them in a way where it becomes almost a caricature of itself. I hope that makes sense. In other words, I feel like Zack Snyder, I won't say he will do it, but I'm afraid that he will get too comfortable with the things that worked in 300. And rather than giving us something innovative, I think he's just going to double down on it. And what do I mean by that? You're going to get even slower slow motions. You're going to get even more slow motions. The themes might be more corny, you know. So this is my worst case fear. That's my worst case fear. Because you have to think about it. Who's going to check him? If he's the director and the executive producer, and this is actually a hit that was not divisive at all, like people enjoyed 300, who's going to tell Zack Snyder no? I don't know who. So if Snyder has got free reign to do what he wants to do, now here's another thing. This is a TV series and not a movie. I don't think Zack Snyder has done TV. Maybe he has. I did not check his IMDb on it, but TV is a different animal than movies. The episodes have to be written in a different way. Budgets might be a little different, might definitely gonna be smaller. So, and the fact that he's potentially co-writing this, can he make that transition? So I'm interested, and I'm only interested because of how good 300 was. But I'm nervous because of how shaky and, let's just be honest, bad Rebel Moon was overall. Can Zack Snyder get out of his own way? I think the best thing that he can do for 300, the prequel, is to try to find a different way, not the same, but find a different way to excite audiences in the show. Because if you think about it, that's kind of what made 300 great. There were things in 300 that we had never really seen before. We had never seen somebody get the big boot into an abyss like that. The cinematography, the top-down shot, the slow motion, it was shot to perfection. We had not really seen somebody run up a hill, jump up in slow motion with a spear and do a crazy slash like that. Now, we've seen him do that over and over again, and it's lost its appeal. I saw him do it at least twice in Rebel Moon, and I was just like, oh, it's the 300 thing. Oh, it's the 300 leap again. So if Zack Snyder can give us something different, if he can give us a different move, a different sequence, a different shot, that will be, I think, a better way to get people locked in. So I don't know. You guys let me know. How do you feel about a 300 prequel series, a TV series? I guess it's fair to say that hold on. Let's back up. Where are all them Snyder fans at? Not the sane fans. Not the people that enjoy his movies. I'm talking about the people that are diehard cultists. Where y'all at? I'm talking about the people that was like, screw WB, sell everything Snyder to Netflix and never again. Well, it looked like WB ain't got no problem with him to bring him back home. So what? I'm just saying, y'all gonna come back, or y'all gonna stay at Netflix and tell WB what to do with their properties? I just want to know what the new message is. That's all. I just want to know, where's the energy go? What's the new hashtag? Are y'all gonna ask for Netflix to buy WB next? Like, how? Just help me with the logic. That's all I want to know. That's all, So anyway, again, I'm talking to the extremists, not the regular casual people that just enjoy his work. I'm talking about the extremists. Anyway, y'all let me know. What do you think about a prequel? What do you think about Snyder coming in, being involved, directing this? What would you like to see in a prequel for 300? Is there something specific, maybe certain characters, whatever you want to see, whatever you're thinking? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Didier, what you got? Thank you so much. Zach has been on a steady decline since Sucker Punch, and no one has the courage to tell him. That is something I wish would happen. I feel like when you appeal to a very small but loud section of the fandom, it drowns out any other type of constructive criticism that you can hear. or receive. Because, and let me be very clear. Every time I give anybody criticism, I don't care if it's Kevin Feige or Zack Snyder or James Gunn, whoever I give criticism to, it's always because I want people to be better. It's always constructive in nature. I never, ever believe in hating on anything. Matter of fact, even Sony, my gripes with Sony, it all comes from a place of I want y'all to just be better. But, and I was having a conversation with my editor about this too. Who's gonna check them? And Snyder has been so ingrained, and he's so experienced at this point. I don't think anyone could reel him in. The only person that can maybe I thought might have been able to reel him in would have been Christopher Nolan, but nah, not really. And he's at that point, I think, and it's not to say it's not earned, but I think he's at that position where if he's meeting with a studio and the studio's like, hey, Zach, can we have a movie that's not over 4 hours? Hey, Zach, can we have a little bit less slow motion? Can we have only one cut? I feel like Zack Snyder would be in that position where he'll be like, no, I'll just go somewhere else. And, that's his prerogative, right? He's earned that. He's been in the game long enough where he'll just probably walk away. So, yeah, I don't know if it's so much that people don't have the courage to tell him. The question is, if they did tell him, would he even receive it? Would he even do anything with it? Based off of what I've heard him say and how he acts in interviews, and I'm not saying he's arrogant or anything, I don't think he'd be willing to do that because he's an artist at heart. Like if you listen to him on his Joe Rogan interview, great interview, he's an artist, and artists a lot of times they lead with their hearts. And if you feel some type of way about stuff, it makes sense if you're not gonna budge. So I get it. All right, let's move on. We have an update for DC. Listen, James Gunn, he's the other half of the head of DC Studios. He's doing all of the creative stuff on the DC side. James Gunn has already come out and said that he was going to come out with a bunch of different films. We got most of the films, not all of them. And he was also mentioning how there were going to be TV series as well. Now, we already know Peacemaker was going to be a thing. We already knew that he was doing his Superman movie, Supergirl, and all that. But one thing that he mentioned that is now getting a little bit more of an update is the Lanterns, the Green Lantern series, which was supposed to be a TV series. We now have an update on that. And these are the people that are going to be responsible for writing it. Now, in case you don't know who they are, on the left is Damon Lindelof. He's the guy that gave you both Lost and Watchmen. Okay, the 2019 HBO Max Watchmen, which you absolutely should watch. Please go watch Watchmen. Hold on. Y'all not hearing me. If you have the chance, go watch Zack Snyder's Watchmen. I'm not saying Watchmen from Zack Snyder was the greatest movie at all. I'm not saying that. It was fine, but go watch it. Then go watch the HBO Max series starring Regina King. You go watch that show. Fantastic. I loved it. I thought it was so well done, beautifully done, just beautifully written. Excellent show. Excellent. And the only reason I'd say watch the Zack Snyder one is because it's literally a direct sequel, I guess, a direct follow-up from that. So you're going to miss a lot of things from that if you have not watched the movie first. So, but yes, HBO Max, Watchmen, go watch it. So anyway, Lindelof, of course, he did Lost, which also was an extremely popular TV show when it came out. Now, I believe he left halfway through, but Lost had people in a chokehold for years. And Lindelof was one of the reasons why. He was one of the reasons. And Chris Mundy. Chris Mundy is also known for Ozark. Ozark you can find on Netflix, also a solid show. And he's done Mundy's done other things: Criminal Minds, Cold Case, Bloodline, True Detective season 4, and that's cool. It says here that the Lanterns will focus on two of the best known members of the Green Lantern Corps. That includes Hal Jordan and John Stewart. And in case you did not know, John Stewart was an ex-Marine and one of the DC's first black superheroes. We do not have casting information on either one of those yet, but hopefully those will come soon. And it says here, the Lanterns, they're going to be investigating a mystery that Peter Safran, the other half of DC Studios, said this mystery plays a really big role leading us into the main story that we're telling across our film and television. So in other words, DC Studios, or the DCU, is going to basically copy what the MCU has been doing by having an overarching story that connects everything. So whatever happens in Superman, it's going to be loosely connected over the other TV series. So they're trying to basically copy the Marvel blueprint and maybe do it a little better, for all we know. It is possible, right? You know, unlike so what this mystery could be, it could be the Anti-Monitor. Dark Side is definitely a possibility. I don't know if they want to do, well, Crisis on Infinite Earths is kind of similar. But it's gonna have to be something big enough. And if it's got the Lanterns attention, then you know it's a intergalactic issue. It's not just, oh, something's going on Earth. Now, if the Lanterns are involved, they're the space police, basically, in case you did not know. But listen, I see this as an absolute win. You had me sold with Damon. You sold me with Damon. This is an absolute win for DC. 1000%. For my comic fans, I would say that this is almost like having Jonathan Hickman do a comic series. This is greatness. This is great. Like Damon does a phenomenal job when it comes to writing out stuff. So the fact that he's doing this Lanterns, I'm in it. So anyway, what do you guys think about this update for the Lanterns? Again, we don't have any casting information yet. If I had to pick, because y'all know I want a good, strong, John Stewart. My pick right now, I'm always going to support my boy Yahya Abdul Mateen. I would always put him up there, but I would like to see Sterling K. Brown. I think Sterling K. Brown he's in shape. He's a fantastic actor, and this would be the type of role that I think he'd be great at. And a long time ago, he actually look at my man. See, my man, listen, the brother's in shape. Okay, the brother is in shape. He's a fantastic actor. He can get you to laugh, he can get you to cry. This is what you can do. This is who you want to play your role. And a long time ago, I have to dig up this interview. I interviewed him, and I asked him, like, what characters, comic book characters would you want to play? He said, and this was 10 years ago, he would love to play Jon Stewart. 10 years ago. So I think this would be fantastic. My man is Oscar nominated, just Oscar nominated in American Fiction. That would be my pick if I had to pick a Jon Stewart. Of course, there are plenty of others that could do it, but if you want good acting and you've got a fantastic writer already with Damon, let's go. Let's go. Anyway, you guys let me know, what do you think about this Lantern news? What do you think about the this writing duo? Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, we have a Transformers update. So Transformers has been, I grew up on Transformers. I've had Transformers toys. I've watched the cartoons. I've watched the movie a long time ago. I have not rewatched it because of the ending, and I'm not going to spoil it for nobody, but that ending was BS. So mad. But Transformers was a fixture in the life of an 80s baby, 90s kid. Just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and so on. But yeah, I've had mixed emotions when it came to the live action Transformers. The first one I thought was solid, and then I felt like it just went downhill from there. Michael Bay, in my opinion, Fast and Furious did the Transformers franchise. You would think Vin Diesel was in charge of Transformers, the way that it just completely lost sight of what it was or what it could have been or should have been. So it's been very rocky. Then you had Bumblebee, directed by Travis Knight. Now, Bumblebee was solid. I liked Bumblebee because those first 10 minutes of Bumblebee, when they were on Cybertron, that should have been the entire movie. Not a human being in sight. Not one. It was just straight up robot on robot violence. And that was it. That should have been the whole movie. But it was still overall decent. It was cool. And what was the last one? Rise of the Beast or something like that? It was okay. It was okay, But like, what was interesting about it, and spoiler alert for anyone that still hasn't seen Transformers Rise of the Beast, was the ending. At the very end, you had a certain teaser, and again, spoiler alert, it's been a while, but the end of the last Transformers movie teased a certain crossover with the G.I. Joe. Now, G.I. Joe is also a franchise that, if you was an 80s baby, 90s kid, that was part of the staple, right? But the G.I. Joe movies have been terrible. No. Channing Tatum didn't work. I don't remember. I think the first G.I. Joe movie was okay, I think. But the second one was absolutely trash. It was absolutely bad. Very, very bad. But the Rise of the Beast is trying to tease a crossover with G.I. Joe and Transformers. And if I'm not mistaken, somebody can quote me, check me on this. I believe they did this in the comics a long time ago. I want to say in the comics, we had a crossover with G.I. Joe and Transformers before. Personally, I'm a little iffy about it. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But we do have an update here about this, and it's about who could be starring in it. And it's none other than Chris Hemsworth, aka Thor, you know, Chris Hemsworth is currently in talks to star in the untitled Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie. Now, he does currently star in Transformers 1, which is that's what you see right here. That's a more CGI animated type of Transformers movie. I believe it is more so a prequel story, but he voices Optimus Prime. I don't know how I feel about that. What is the name of the actor that does Optimus Prime? Jesus, what's his name? Peter Cullen. Peter Cullen is to Optimus Prime as Kevin Conroy is to Batman to me. I grew up with Peter Cullen's voice, and every single time I hear his voice, I'm like, yo, it's time. You know, like when Optimus Prime gives his little speeches, I'm like, yo, maybe I need to transform too. Let me get it's we gotta go. So I don't know how he will be as I don't even remember the trailer. I think there was a trailer for Transformers 1. But I don't remember how I felt about hearing Chris Hemsworth and his voice as Optimus Prime. But it sounds as though they're trying to make Chris Hemsworth the new Optimus Prime moving forward. That's what it seems like. Is Peter Cullen alive? I think he's still alive, ain't he? Did he retire? Because if he didn't retire, I got other questions as to why he's not available, but whatever. Let's see, what else do they have here? It says, yes, we got so Transformers 1, it hits theaters this September 20th. Oh, that's close to my birthday. Okay. And it says here that the movie was one of the highest testing Paramount animation titles ever. So it sounds like this is actually decent. Sounds like it's decent. At least from early testing. So we don't have any other details about this, but it seems like he's going to be in the movie. Now, the reason why I'm a little iffy about this Transformers meets G.I. Joe crossover, I'm iffy about it because, for one, when it comes to Transformers, one of my biggest pet peeves is in the movies, there have been way too much emphasis on the humans. Even in the cartoons, you might have had two little humans running around and that was about it. But it was about the Transformers. It's about the Autobots and the Decepticons. But the movies, Michael Bay's movies, they did way too much nonsense. There were times they made the Transformers background characters in their own movie. That's how bad it started to get. So I'm already concerned about how Transformers are depicted whenever humans are involved. And that's regular humans. Now you're bringing in G.I. Joe, which means that you are forcing the human component to be even more prominent in the movie. Like, you have to show the humans now because that's all the G.I. Joe are. The G.I. Joe are it's just about humans anyway. My other issue is the fact that we ain't even got a decent G.I. Joe reboot yet. Who are the G.I. Joe? I feel like this is putting the cart before the horse. What are we doing? I'm just saying, wouldn't it make a little bit more sense that we should have a G.I. Joe movie first? A reboot? Nah, we ain't looking at Snake Eyes. I'm talking about, like, shouldn't we get like a rebooted G.I. Joe? Let us know the characters. Let us know the cast. Let us know who they are first. And by the way, what y'all gonna do if the G.I. Joe suck and people don't like them? See, again, y'all doing too much too fast, too soon. Because if you had a decent Transformers Rise of the Beast movie, and let's just say you had a decent G.I. Joe reboot, now a crossover makes sense because you're going to be bringing in both audiences and they're both well received, money well invested. But if you got a okay product with Transformers and a unknown shaky product which already still has a bad taste in their mouths from the last couple G.I. Joe movies, it sounds like you into the risky business of this all. This does not sound like a great mix for moving forward with the franchise. So it feels like the Transformers are going to be compromised from the jump. We don't know, or maybe won't have a connection with the G.I. Joe that they are bringing in. And let's be honest, the G.I. Joe, they have a lot of characters. You got Duke, you got Roadblock, you got Snake Eyes, you got a lot of different characters that, in my opinion, I wouldn't say they need their own movie, but you do need a G.I. Joe movie to help us start to care about them. And if you're only giving them half of a movie with that many characters to juggle, this feels like a recipe for disaster. I don't see this working. Now, I do believe people will be interested just because of the name, just because of the property. So I think that it is possible that people could be interested that way. I'm a little concerned also because are they going to lean into getting star power? Please don't go get The Rock. Please don't do that again. And don't even look at Channing Tatum at all. Just don't. Don't do that. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Is it going to be something cheesy like Cobra Commander? Are they going to team up with the Decepticons or something? Like what? I don't know where this is going. I don't know. But y'all let me know. Is this something that you're looking forward to? How do you feel about Chris Hemsworth coming in? More than likely to be the voice of Optimus Prime. Are you looking forward to this crossover? Whatever you think, please feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. 60 plus just received notice that Michelle Obama's mother has passed away. Yeah, I heard that earlier today. Yeah, rest in peace to her and all the loved ones, family and friends. That's definitely sad. I think she was 86, if I'm not mistaken. So, that's definitely tough. But condolences to all those out there. Quiet one. Certain writers, directors make a very huge film that pushes the movie industry forward. They overuse the same sauce to try to relive of that lightning in the bottle moment, just like Michael Bay Transformers. Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts. I mean, heck, I would even say the Wachowski siblings with the Matrix. Like, it didn't hit. The Matrix 4. The issue was the fact that the trilogy, the Matrix trilogy, what put the Matrix on the map was how innovative it was. We didn't see slow-mo like that. We didn't see fighting like that. We didn't see those superhuman type feats like that. So it was mind-blowing back then to see that. So every time we saw another Matrix movie, we wanted to see how are you going to blow our minds again. And Matrix 4 didn't do that. It tried. It had an interesting theme, but it didn't have enough innovation. And I think it relied too much on the past and it just didn't work. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Great perspective on that point. Thank you so much. Let's see. Talented one. They're making the same mistake that DC made with Justice League. We got the team up before we got the individuals. There you go. Yeah. I don't think that works. I mean, even Marvel showed the basic blueprint. Let's show you Iron Man. Let's show you Captain America. Let's show you Thor, and then we'll bring them together. Now, once you bring together the main characters, you can bring in side supporting roles. That's fine, because those supporting roles don't really need a lot of attention. But you can't just like come in out of nowhere and just be like, oh, by the way, here go like a whole new franchise we just gonna throw in here. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't see it working. But yeah, great example. Great example. Ism, what you got? I stole Snake Eyes with the Kung Fu grip when I was 7. Got my tail whooped. It was worth it. Listen, I do not condone stealing, but I understand. Okay, 7-year-old me, I understand. I totally understand. Snake Eyes was my favorite. That was my favorite for G.I. Joe. I didn't know very much. I know Duke was everybody. I didn't care. I was like, I like the ninja. I want the ninja. Okay, he got swords. Give me the ninja. So if anybody's like, why email like ninjas? Because of Snake Eyes. It started right there. That was it. Man, I ain't never seen an animated ninja by that time. So that was it for me. So, bro, I totally understand. Okay, I get it. Listen, if my parents hadn't bought me that Optimus Prime, let's just say it would have found its way at my house one way or another as well. So I get it. All right. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. All right, let's get into some rumor territory. We have Spider-Man 4 rumors. So, of course, Spider-Man has been probably one of the most profitable franchises right now for Sony Pictures, especially when it comes into the superhero market, because it sure ain't Venom or Morbius or Madam Web. So, this historic partnership between Sony and Marvel has definitely been a great thing for them. But the director of the 3 Spider-Man movies, John Watts, has moved on. He's gone off. He's doing his other movie, and that means that we need a director for Spider-Man 4. And there have been a lot of different rumors of who could that be, what would they do, and this is the Spider-Man 4 Tom Holland Spider-Man. Okay, now there were rumors that maybe Sam Raimi was going to come back for another Spider-Man 4. That would be the continuation of Tobey Maguire, the GOAT Spider-Man, and maybe Sam Raimi would come back for that. There have been talks of different people who might be, or maybe Sam Raimi will come in and do this Tom Holland one. There have been a lot of different ideas, a lot of people that have been thrown out there. But more recently, we have these other directors' names that have been thrown out. And it's none other, y'all might remember them, Adil El Aribi and Bilal Falah, who, in case you did not know, they are the guys that were in charge of Ms. Marvel. They directed, they did some of the Ms. Marvel stuff, and they also did the canceled Batgirl movie. So they went ahead and their names have been tossed into the mix for directing the next Spider-Man. Now, they are currently the directors of the Bad Boys 4 movie. And this rumor kind of got thrown their way of like, hey, would y'all like to do Spider-Man 4? And they did have a response to it. They were kind of playing coy at first, but they did kind of give a response. And they said, man, the rumor, it came out of nowhere because we've got the Sony bosses here and they didn't tell us anything. The other director said he admitted that it would be cool if they got the gig. He said, I'm a super fan of Spider-Man. So you can imagine when I was reading that rumor, I was like, whoa, that would be cool. And they were jokingly, one of the reporters had asked them, like, if you're going to do Spider-Man 4, you got to bring Michael Keaton back. And they joked back and said, we're going to bring Michael Keaton in everything now. So they definitely joked about doing that. But no, it's not official that they're coming to direct it at all. But the question is, Would they be a good choice to do Spider-Man 4? Now, okay. So, we haven't seen Batgirl. We know that Batgirl was made for streaming. We know that it tested at the same level as um as Black Adam. Make of that what you will. Let me see. What else? Have they done anything else besides this? I mean, I have not seen Bad Boys 4 yet. I do plan on seeing it. I forget when I'm supposed to see it. But I'm going to be seeing it soon. I want to say in a week or two. So I will judge whether I'd want them to do it or not later. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a lot of their movies. Hold on, let's see. We got it here. Broidered, no. TV versus CG, nope, no. Image, never seen it. Black, nope. Hashtag, nope. Snowfall, they did 2 episodes on Snowfall. Okay. Scalp, nope, didn't see that. Gangsta, never heard of it. Dimitri Vegas, no. Music video, whatever. Bad Boys for Life. Okay, they did the first Bad Boys. That's right. They did the first Bad Boys. I'm sorry, not the first one. The third one. They did the last one. So the last Bad Boys wasn't bad. Well, it was all right. It was cool. So, they getting about 6.5s, 7s. Rebel, I did not see Rebel. All right. So, could be okay. I like these guys. I got a chance to interview them for Ms. Marvel. Fun guys, cool guys. Definitely somebody you can go kick it with, I don't know if they'd be my first pick for Spider-Man. I do like the fact that they are fans of Spider-Man, but I don't know if I'd say they'd be my first pick. Now, does that mean that they would do a bad job? Absolutely not. I would just like to, how like y'all watch Shark Tank? In Shark Tank when one of the sharks gives you an offer and they're the ones that you have to decide on, and so sometimes you got to sit there and be like, are there any other offers? Okay, Mr. Wonderful, I heard you, but anybody else? Anybody else want to make an offer? That's all. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. I just want to know, are there any other options on the table? That's all. So I wouldn't be mad if they got the gig. But I would like to see if there was any other people out there that would be interested in doing it. But y'all let me know, how do you feel about the Bad Boys directors coming in to do Spider-Man 4? Is this something that you would want to see from them or not? I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Anthony, thank you so much. Did I miss the popcorn bucket or Blade? I don't know what you're talking about. No, Blade is at the end, and they did do Bad Boys 3. Thank you so much for that. Oh, you might be talking about the Deadpool bucket. Yeah, that's not a topic for today. But if y'all did watch I posted the short on the channel. That bucket was pretty hilarious. That was definitely funny. Thank you so much, Anthony, and I hope you had a good time at your competition. Nelson, what you got? Did Elizabeth Olsen had to spoon feed Sam Raimi background information about Wanda, Scarlet Witch, while filming Doctor Strange 2? According to reports, yeah. Like, the whole thing with Sam Raimi and like the Doctor Strange, how it came together was just a mess to me. Everything about it was just a mess. So, yikes. No thanks. If Sam Raimi wanted to do, thank you for that. If Sam Raimi wanted to do the Tobey Maguire one, if he wanted to do that, I'd be fine with it, because he gave us the first Spider-Man in the early 2000s and Spider-Man 2, and for a long time those movies were considered as some of the best, not Spider-Man movies, but the best comic book movies. For a long time they held that title. So I'm not gonna shade Sam Raimi in terms of his talent. Now recently, not so much. But if he wants to get back in his bag and do Spider-Man 4 with Tobey, I'm cool with that. Let him rock with that. All right, let's go on. We got a couple other issues. We got to talk about Star Wars. We got to talk about the theaters. And of course, we'll be talking about Blade. And we are making fantastic time. Boy, I'm about to get my dinner tonight. Yes. Okay, what do we have? Oh boy. Let's talk about Star Wars. Guys, stop me if you've heard this before. But for a while now, Star Wars has had a bit of a stigma of having a bit of a toxic fan base. And this fan base has notoriously been problematic for a while. Let's just say that, for a while. Now, one of the issues I've had with Star Wars, and there have been many, is how much the powers that be, whether it's George Lucas, Kathleen Kennedy, anybody, how quiet they typically have been when it had come to the harassment to the stars and the cast and people of Star Wars. During Obi-Wan, we did start to finally hear them say a little bit more, right? They finally started to speak up a little bit, and that was cool. It was nice. I felt it was a little tempered, but they started to kind of push back against toxic fandom. And let me be very clear about this. When we're talking about toxic fandom, because somebody's going to come on here, maybe on the replay, and be like, it's not toxic if I don't like a character and if I don't like the writing. No, it's not. And no one's talking to you. We're talking to the people that go out of their way to say racist comments, to say sexist comments, to have those type of things that have nothing to do with the actual, plot or the structure. We're not talking about the people that have constructive criticism. We're talking to the jerks that are out there that are trolling, that are, attacking people on their race, gender, sexuality, etc. Those are the people that we're talking that are sexist. So if that does not apply to you, then be quiet, because we're not talking to you. But a hit dog will holler. So just kind of keep that in mind too. So with that said, recently, Kathleen Kennedy has come out and said some things. Kathleen Kennedy, in case you did not know, is the president of Lucasfilm right now. She's the top, boss lady right now. And she had something to say about the toxicity that has been going on. And according to her, it was directed towards the women of Star Wars. And she says here, she responded to the toxic side of the Star Wars fandom. My belief is that storytelling storytelling does need to be representative of all people. That's an easy decision for me. Operating within these giant franchises now with social media and the level of expectation, it's terrifying. I think Leslie, that's the director of the Acolyte series, I think Leslie has struggled a little bit with it. I think a lot of the women who step into Star Wars struggle with this a bit more because of the fan base being so male dominated. They sometimes get attacked, the women, in ways that can be quite personal. That is probably the most watered down way to say that, yeah, your fan base is sexist at times, a lot of times. And, you know, the attacks have been so bad that it's driven people to go offline. We know about Kelly Marie Tran, you know, during The Last Jedi. Fans attacked her and it was just terrible. Recently, you have, so they're talking about the female director for The Acolyte. I don't know of any specifics, but I'm assuming that maybe she got some backlash in some way. I haven't heard about it, so I can't say it for sure, but I'm assuming that's what prompted Kathleen Kennedy to talk about how they are struggling. Some of the females are struggling. Now, a very prominent person you might think about is Daisy Ridley, aka Ray. Now, I remember, and maybe some of y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, I remember there sure was a lot of pushback on the socials when it came to Daisy Ridley becoming the new face of the new trilogy. Now, we all probably can agree that the new trilogy, the latest one, fell short incredibly. Now, a new Force Awakens, I liked it. I thought that was a solid film. It was cool. It came back with the nostalgia. Fine. Last Jedi, I personally liked it at the time, but the way that it fit into the overall trilogy, no good. No good. We're not even going to talk about the last movie because it was just bad. Period. But I do recall Daisy Ridley was getting some pushback. Oh, she's a Mary Sue. Oh, she's not this, she's this, she's that. People was giving her a lot of flack too. Now, what's interesting here, because you know, we got to go back to the past. Daisy Ridley threw water on those sexist flames. In an old interview, this was, I want to say last year, she said, I think when she was asked about the toxicity and all that, she said, I think my take is things get blown out of proportion, and the interactions I've ever had with people have been nothing but wonderful and supportive. I've only ever been embraced, and I think we're going to make a great film. Now, keep in mind, Daisy Ridley is going to be doing another Star Wars film. And according to her, she's saying that she ain't getting no hate. According to her, things are great. Now, I don't know if she's on social media because that could be a contributing factor. If you're not on social media, if you're not checking your DMs, if you're not reading the comments, it's very easy to live in a bubble to believe that nobody is saying anything about you. Now, I'm not mad at what she's doing because she probably is being strategic about this. She's probably learning from someone like Brie Larson, where when you sit here and go antagonize, and let's be very honest, when you go antagonize the white males online that are toxic, so I'm being very specific who I'm talking about, when you antagonize that demographic, it potentially could hurt your future, whether it's in Star Wars or other roles. So I could see how she will want to water that down a little bit and just be like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Sexism? Where? Not for me. Cool. But as we mentioned before, it's definitely been an issue for other women in Star Wars. Most notably, the director of Daisy Ridley's upcoming Star Wars movie. And this was from like an old interview. What's her name? Charmine Chinoy. in an interview earlier this year on CNN, she said, "I'm very thrilled about the project. This is the Ray movie that's coming up because I feel what we're about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape a story in a galaxy far, far away." And as the article says, her comments sent the social media outrage machine into overdrive as they stripped her statement out of context, which, of course, toxic people normally do. So, and this director, I believe she's of Indian descent. She received a whole lot of hatred, a whole lot of nasty comments, a whole lot of all that stuff. So it's interesting to me that this fandom, and again, I'm going to take Daisy Ridley for her word, but it's interesting to me that maybe for whatever reason, they only spared her. I don't believe it because I remember when the movie was announced, they was getting on her too. But let's not forget that this is not a matter of just being sexist towards the women. Nah, they sexist and they racist. They equal opportunity bigots. Okay, they don't care. And this was something I had to write. Your boy wrote this all the way in 2022. Y'all remember when Moses Ingram was catching all hell from those racist fans. And I brought up how Finn was getting all that racism from those racist fans. And how Kelly Marie Tran got all that, backlash for those sexist, racist fans. And it goes back. Feel free to go read this article if you get a chance. Because this was the first time someone in Star Wars from the higher ups actually said anything in defense. What was the brother's name that played Jar Jar Binks? It's escaping me right now. But that brother, I know y'all get it in the chat. He also faced ridiculous amounts of criticism that almost broke him. Ahmad Best, thank you so much. And that was before social media. That was before social media. They was breaking folks. Something is wrong with the fandom of Star Wars. Now, let me put some positives, because y'all know I try to be fair. Kathleen Kennedy has done a fantastic job, I would say, with making things more diverse on the TV side. When it comes to the TV side, we're getting all types of shows with all types of characters from all different types of walks of life. I'm not mad at that. I am mad that y'all not bringing Mace Windu back yet, though. That I do have a problem. I'm not going to forgive y'all for that. And I don't like the fact that every black person in Star Wars just so happens to know each other. Yeah, you thought we didn't notice, but we did. Okay, Lando. But I will say that the TV side of Star Wars is headed in a better direction when it comes to diversity, inclusion, and equity. Ooh, I know that made somebody shiver. Yes, DEI. Ugh. But I think it's important to realize that the fan base probably didn't get that way without reason. And a lot of times you have to go back to the original source. And it was interesting to me that while Kathleen Kennedy was making this comment, George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, he too was making comments on the racial and sexual criticisms that have been lodged at him about Star Wars. And I think that this brings an interesting aspect to the conversation that I want to kind of highlight real quick. So he was at the Cannes Film Festival, and he was very candid about criticisms of his first 6 Star Wars movies. So let's be clear. This is he's addressing, the prequels and the original trilogy. Okay, so only the first 6 movies. So George Lucas said, the critics, they would say it's all white men. Most of the people are aliens. The idea is you're supposed to accept people for what they are, whether they're big and furry or whether they're green or whatever. The idea is all people are equal. Are they? Are they really in Star Wars? Before I get into what I think about his comment, I'm gonna give him his chance to say everything, and then we'll go into it. He says, as for the issue of race, in the first movie, in the first trilogy, there were a few Tanzanians who were dark, and in the second movie, I had Billy Williams, and in the prequels, which they're also criticizing, I had Sam Jackson. He wasn't a scoundrel like Lando. He was one of the top Jedi. In other words, what y'all mad about? I had my magical Negroes. I met my quota. What y'all mad about? He also responded to the criticism about the depiction of women in Star Wars, saying, who do you think the heroes are in the stories? What do you think Princess Leia was? She's the head of the rebellion. And it's the same with Queen Amidala. Let's kind of go back here. George Lucas, who, by the way, is married to a black woman. Good for him. It also doesn't mean anything. George Lucas is coming from an older mindset of what inclusion, diversity, and equity actually means. Damn it. Oh, DEI again. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. But he's coming from an older mindset of what that means. To him, I gave y'all dark-skinned people that were background characters. Isn't that enough? I gave y'all Billy D. Williams. He had a couple lines. Isn't that enough? I gave y'all Sam Jackson for a couple minutes here and there. And I ain't bringing them back, but isn't that enough? And the women, they were the leaders of stuff. Yep, sure, you're right. But were those movies about any of those people? Let me show y'all something. Ooh, can I make this bigger? I don't know if I can make this bigger. I don't think I can. Again, we're talking about the, hold on, I really want to get y'all this image. Yes, perfect. We're talking about his first 6 movies. Y'all let me know what you see here. White man. White. White man. Little green. White. Yeah. White. Oh, splash of black and green. White. So, what George Lucas is missing, what George Lucas is not understanding, and I feel like somebody should have explained that criticism to him a little better, is that it's not the fact that we're saying Star Wars is only all white people. That's not what we're saying. The criticism is that in all your movies, just those 6, they were all white centered. They all focused on white centered males. Now, do you think there's any coincidence that the movies that ushered in and became the foundation of the franchise of white males, do you think that there's any coincidence that the fan base has any relation to it? Because if you give people 6 movies over the course of 30, 40 years that center around white males, and all of a sudden you start sprinkling in a little color, sprinkling in a little bit more diversity, again, not just in the background, but in terms of the actual stories being told, do you think that fandom that grew fond and related to that one demographic that they could relate to, you don't think that they'd feel some type of way about that? You don't feel like they'd feel, I don't know, they're taking our jobs. I mean, they're taking our movies. You don't think that that backlash would exist? And a lot of this stems from, and no, I'm not calling George Lucas racist. I'm not saying that. But this stems from the fact that people have held on to an outdated version of racism and sexism. Now, racism is way deeper and way more complex, and I would argue had a longer history in this country. Because keep in mind, women got their rights before black people did. Okay. But when it comes to racism, the problem that people like George Lucas probably have is that he's holding on to maybe like level 2 racism, and he's trying to avoid that. Level 1 was basically slavery. Okay. Level 1 was, oh man, black people are animals. Okay. Listen, we moved past that. But if you look over the course of history, racism in America has evolved. It evolves over time. We go through slavery and we're like, all right, man, all right, y'all were like animals, and no, we're not on that no more with slaves, but you guys are still inferior. You're only 3/5 of a person. We go through segregation. That's a different level of racism. And then you have racism in systems, and you have racism in policing and housing and banking. It evolves. Some people still hold on to the idea that racism only means the KKK level of racism. That's what some people think it is. No, racism is deeper than just that. It's deeper than just, I hate all black people. No, it ain't got to be all that. You don't have to have a white hood. That's a deep level, but that ain't it. You could be a nice racist. You could be an unknowing racist. It happens. And this is why I would love for George Lucas to maybe kind of, I don't know, just have a conversation with somebody to get a little bit more educated on this, because he clearly missed the mark. He didn't realize that just by having a black person on staff, that doesn't mean that they're equal. What did he just say? What did he just say? His words. The idea is all people are equal. Lando ain't equal. Mace Windu ain't equal. What are you talking about? They wasn't equal. Kelly Tran's character was not equal. Okay, he didn't do that one, but still, I'm just saying, like, that just meeting a quota is not equality. So yes, the Star Wars movies, they were about Luke. They were about Anakin. That's fine. I'm not saying that that was wrong. I'm not saying that George Lucas was supposed to have a black person or a white woman I'm not saying none of that. I'm saying own up to what your movies were. They were centered on white males. It is what it is. But don't try to pretend that Star Wars was so equally balanced when it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was about them white dudes having family problems. That's all. That's all it was. You sprinkled in a green person and you sprinkled in a couple of the blacks. That's all. And that's fine. But say that. Don't try and act like you was woke back then, because he wasn't. Anyway, I'm not surprised that the fandom that George Lucas created, and I'm not saying he did it intentionally, I'm saying that because his first 6 movies were all white centered, it was a natural reaction that you were going to cultivate a fan that connected with those characters, so that when those characters are no longer being focused or highlighted or shown at the forefront, that fan base was going to react. Just what it is. Anyway, you guys let me know. What do you think about Kathleen Kennedy's and her comments about the hostility that some of the female creatives or cast crew, whatever, that they face with the fandom? What do you think about George Lucas's comments? Maybe you disagree. Maybe you think that Star Wars was equal in some way. I don't know how, but maybe you do. Whatever you think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Nelson, what you got? Feige changed the game for all comic book movies. So far, yeah. But I would say not just comic book movies, but for the industry. It's not a coincidence that you see other franchises trying to do connected cinematic universes. Y'all remember I'm sorry to bring this up. Tom Cruise's The Mummy, that was supposed to be part of the monster universe. Like they were going to try and make a monster universe. So the MCU, I keep telling y'all, we are living in the middle of history. We are living in something that has been unprecedented by having a connected cinematic universe. And yes, Kevin Feige's been like, he's going to go down as one of the greatest movie producers of all time, because this is unprecedented. So it's not just comics, he's changing the game overall. Dwight, has Dave, I'm assuming you mean Filoni. Okay. Has Dave Filoni ever commented on toxic fans bring Finn back? I don't think he has. I would love to hear from him though, but my guess, and I don't know Dave Filoni at all, I've never talked to him, but my guess is that he probably doesn't want to talk about it. Like Dave Filoni does not give me the impression that he would like to ruffle any feathers, especially when it comes to fans. So I'm going to assume that he would not talk about it. But I could be wrong. Hold on 1 second. I want to order my food because I'm starving. Boom. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Dwight. Appreciate you. Anthony, thank you so much. What you got? I just hate the fact that there are people who have legit grievances with Ray's writing, but people say all critics are sexist because of toxic individuals. Yeah, I mean, it does suck, but I would argue that if you do have legitimate criticisms, and if there is a loud segment of the population that is being toxic as hell, problematic, I think the onus at that point is to just be more specific with your criticisms, right? So like, for example, when I was doing Recast T'Challa, and there were some people online, a handful of people that were being way more sexist about stuff and taking the Recast T'Challa brand and saying like, yo, forget Shuri and she's terrible and you know she shouldn't be on the throne, but just saying a lot more sexist stuff. I had to go out of my way to be like, yo, Recast T'Challa, and by the way, Shuri is cool. By the way, Shuri eventually becomes a goddess. By the way, it's cool for Shuri and T'Challa to exist. I had to put it on myself to make sure that while I might have criticisms, I'm not sounding like those other folks, because that's not my message. So it is one of those things where, like, when you have that situation where the negative is sounding too much, the positive needs to sound specific and just be louder. That's the way I would approach it. But thank you so much for that. Because by the way, I had issues with Ray too. I had issues with how they depicted Ray. I had issues with how all of a sudden Leia just so happens to get her powers. I'm like, why didn't y'all develop her before? Why didn't y'all give us a little bit more before? Now we saw some of those deleted scenes. I'm like, y'all should have added that. I mean, first of all, the movie's a mess, but y'all should have added those things, you know. But anyway, you just got to be more vocal about it. That's all. In art, you know, specific. Wraith, what you got? Lucas originally intended for Obi-Wan to be Asian and Han Solo to be black, but he backed out of it. Damn. Missed opportunity. And again, like I said, I'm not saying George Lucas is racist. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying he needs to own what he made. That's all. It's not as inclusive as he thought it was. You know, maybe on paper, maybe on the call sheet, he could check a lot of boxes, but final product, nah, that wasn't it. That was not it. All right, let's get to. Ooh, we got to talk about this. Oh my gosh, y'all. The theaters are in shambles. Oh my goodness. I saw film Twitter and all the outlets, boy, people was out here just panicking because the box office ain't been hitting lately. It's been struggling. And I believe that there are a couple reasons for that. I've seen a bunch of different outlets making reasons for it. I'm going to give y'all my reasons why I believe the box office has been struggling. But let's kind of go into what's going on now. Furiosa is one of the first movies. It's one of the most recent movies that is prompting this discussion. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I did not watch Furiosa. I did not feel like it. I did not want to. It just, and I liked Mad Max. I liked the first Mad Max with Mel Gibson. I liked those movies. The third one, not so much, but I liked them. I liked Fury Road. I had some issues with it, but I liked it overall. Furiosa, I was like, even when I did a poll for y'all, and I asked y'all, are y'all checking for Furiosa? Like, because I'm sitting there like, do I need to go drive downtown and pay for that parking to go watch this for y'all? And a lot of y'all was like, nah, we good. No thanks. So, you know, listen, if a film critic is over here like, I don't know if I want to see this blockbuster movie, that's not a good sign to me. But Furiosa debuted this weekend. And basically, even with Garfield out there, it was the worst Memorial Day weekend in 3 decades. The box office for Memorial Day weekend, which usually is a weekend, it's like the first weekend for summer movies. You know, you get your vacation, you get to go watch some things. It has been down 36%. 36% with that box office. That's bad. That's bad. Because keep in mind, we just came from a whole pandemic. Now, obviously, during the pandemic on lockdown, yeah, numbers were going to be down. But the fact that we, 2, 3, 4 years out and y'all are down, boy, people are losing it. They are freaking out. So Furiosa, by the way, more specifically, it came back so bad that apparently it's affecting the entire franchise. Because George Miller, the director of Furiosa and Mad Max, he said of the Mad Max saga bowed to a disappointing $32 million domestically for the Memorial Day weekend and $36 million overseas. Yikes. And because of that, that has diminished hopes for Mad Max The Wasteland. That would be the potential sequel that would come up. Miller said, I'll definitely wait. This was before. He said, I'll definitely wait to see how this Furiosa goes before we even think about doing The Wasteland. Sources agree that Wasteland's fate is complicated by Furiosa's box office. Furiosa has recently gotten a pretty decent Rotten Tomatoes score, 90%. But it also earned a B plus cinema score. First of all, let me just say a B plus cinema score is not very good. That's not a good thing. Now, 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, that's what? Okay, let's just look at it. Because I'm pretty sure that's just critics. I don't think that's. Oh, no. Okay, I stand corrected. That's critics and audiences. So critics and audiences found Furiosa to be cool. Now, I've told y'all, there's usually about 400, maybe 600 critics, give or take. So if you can get 300 critics, that's a very good showing. So critics liked it. But only 1,000 for fans? That's not good for Rotten Tomatoes. To get only 1,000, we're talking about like Avengers or something else had like 50,000. People turn out and make their reviews on it. So only 1,000. That means that it did not have a big turnout. And like I said, a B plus on cinema score. If I'm not mistaken, I think Venom 2 had a B plus as well. I think Thor 4 had a B plus. I think Ant-Man and Quantumania, that had a B plus. And cinema score, by the way, that's straight up audience. That is not critics. That's not press, media, influencers. That's the people. When you watch a movie and you walk immediately outside, there are people that ask you, how do you like the movie? So this is the general public. This ain't no screeners. The general public gave it a B plus, which is a very curved grade. Okay, so if Venom 2 got a B plus, you already know Morbius got a B plus, I think. So that's not good. It goes on to say, but in a troubling and unexpected twist, far fewer females and younger male adults showed up than that came out for Fury Road 9 years ago. Yo, Mad Max was 9 years ago. 9 years ago. So a lot of this brings me back to what is going on with the movies. Because like I said, you had movies this weekend that were not doing very well. And you have all these, think pieces about all the different reasons why Memorial Day was bad and all this stuff. Now, some of these reasons you've probably heard before, and some of these reasons, and I would say, when I've looked at a lot of these reasons, I agree with most of them. But nobody has talked about the most obvious reason. And I'm going to go in order first from basic, from least to greatest. I'll give you 3 reasons. 3 reasons. First reason why theaters are going down or why the box office is struggling. It's ticket prices, right? I mean, listen, it does not make any sense for a family to go out and try to purchase tickets for a movie and have to spend almost $150. Let's just be honest. Tickets for an opening week movie cost almost $20 per head. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I should not have to pay $100 just to show up for a movie, and then I got to pay almost another $50 to $100 for the food. For some popcorn and a drink? Come on, man. So the ticket prices already are problematic, and we've already talked about how there have been studies about how when you lower ticket prices, people show up every time. And I'm sure some of y'all can attest to this. There's a reason why Tuesday nights are popping. Why? Because that's $5 Tuesdays. You mean to tell me I get to watch a movie for $5? Absolutely, I'm gonna be there. I bring my family. That's the only time I'm like, listen, my kids be like, Daddy, can we go? I said, is it Tuesday? If it's not Tuesday, why are you talking to me? No, we're not going nowhere unless it's Tuesday. So $5 Tuesdays, lower ticket prices. That has to be it. Now, some people would say you got to lower concession stand prices too. I'm going to put a little pushback on that. Just a little bit. And I get it. Paying $10, $15 for a small popcorn, that's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Okay, I hear you. But the reason why I would push back on that is two reasons. One, if the ticket price is low enough, you mean to tell me that people are not going to pay for the food? And I'm not talking about y'all that hustle and bring your own food in your pockets. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the people that still go in for $5 per ticket. You might want to treat yourself. That might be the day that you be like, you know what? I might go ahead and get that $15 popcorn. And I know for some people, they like, yo, man, everybody on a budget, people. I understand. I know. I got kids too. I get it. But I want people to think about the fact that everybody, and probably not the people watching here, because I feel like if you're here or you're watching, you probably go to the movies more than the average person. The average person probably sees one, maybe two movies in a year, maybe, if we're being generous with it, which means going to the movies is kind of a treat. It's kind of a celebration. It's a once in a life, it's a once in a year thing. It's not something that's breaking the bank if you only do it 1 or 2 times in a year, maybe 3. So the reason why I say bring the ticket prices down, and maybe you can leave the concessions alone, because by the way, the theaters don't make that much money on the tickets. They make more money on the concessions. That's how they stay alive. But you have to get people in the door. If you don't get people in the door, it doesn't matter how much your concessions cost, right? So that's what I'm saying. You have to look at the ticket prices first. If you decrease that, then we could talk about everything else. But if nobody's showing up because the tickets are too expensive, it doesn't matter if you can make the concessions $5, $2. What does that make a difference if people are scared because your tickets are $20 a piece? So ticket prices obviously are a barrier. That's a problem. Second reason why theaters are going down right now and the box office is in trouble. And I've told y'all this the day it was announced. When we had the pandemic, when theaters were shutting down, when theaters and studios were having issues because of streaming, I told y'all that this was going to be a problem the very first day, and that was the release window. Back in the day, you had to wait 3-4 months, maybe almost 6 months for a movie to finally come to VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. You had to wait. And by the time that movie finally came out, because it had been so long, you actually had time to sit there and get excited for it. But that's not the case no more. I think The Fall Guy, didn't that just come out like 3 weeks ago? It already is coming to VOD. It's coming on streaming already. You're not giving these movies time to cook. There was a movie I wanted to go see. I think it was Immaculate. I don't even know if the movie's good or not, but I'm a sucker for the demon possession movies and stuff. I wanted to go see it, but I didn't have a chance to go. I missed my screener. I didn't have time to go. There was some scheduling conflicts. 2-3 weeks later, that sucker was on streaming. I was like, well, I'm not going to see it in the theaters now. It's on streaming. So if you're not giving your movies time to cook, You're not giving them time to build up, the box office, and it's barely even going to home video. And the problem that you end up having is the fact that they don't have time to make money, and people don't have time to watch it. Everybody's not going to watch a movie the moment it comes out. You have people come out in waves. You have the first responders. You have the people that jump at those movies. Those are the movie buffs, right? Then you have the movie fans. You got the people that are like, oh, I like this franchise, Marvel, comics, whatever. I'm going to watch whatever. But then you got the people that like to wait and see. You got the people that are like, I'm going to wait till $5 Tuesday. Because $5 Tuesday is so popular, it's sold out. I'm going to have to wait till the next Tuesday, to go at a better time. Ooh, what happens if I don't have enough time to go on that Tuesday? The movie's already on streaming. Why do I need to see your movie? Why do I need to go pay $20? We already talked about the price hike. Why do I have to go pay $20 when I could sit my butt at home and watch it for the free? It's not really free because I'm paying for the streaming, but why would I go pay you more money? So you are disincentivized. You're not incentivizing people to go watch these things because the prices are too high, and it's going to come to streaming anyway. Where's the motivation? I lied. I'm going to give y'all 4 reasons because I just thought of something. The third reason why the box office is failing is marketing. A lot of these movies have terrible marketing. They just do. A movie will come out. Maybe you've never even seen the trailer. Maybe the trailer gives way too much away, which I've always told y'all is a problem. Or maybe the trailer's just not that good. You can't get butts in seats if the tickets are too high. The release window is probably going to come out to you on streaming soon enough. And the marketing just wasn't all that good anyway. That's a problem. A lot of these movies be showing way too much, and it's just not intriguing. They're not creative as much anymore. I've told y'all this example before, but like back in the day, in the 90s, The Matrix, when The Matrix came out, when I tell you nobody knew what this movie was about. They even made a website called What is the Matrix? That was it. All you saw was Keanu Reeves seeing Lawrence Fishburne jump across a building and say, whoa. And we was just like, whoa, because we didn't know what was going on. But it looked amazing. We had no idea what it was. And that level of marketing made us want to go see it. M. Night Shyamalan. Yes, he has a spotty track record. But man, when I tell you this dude drops a trailer that makes you want to go see his movies. You don't know if the movie's going to be trash or not. But as I've always said, you got to trick me into watching a bad movie. And he does a very good job of that. That movie Trap, I think it's called, with the psycho killer at the concert with his daughter and everything. That trailer looked fire. I was like, listen, I want to go see what's going to happen. I need to see it. Even his daughter, who did the other movie, The Watchers, you have no idea. All you see is people stuck in a building and it's all mysterious. I can't even describe it because I don't know what's going on, but I definitely want to see it. That's what good marketing does. And hopefully, if you have good marketing, you'll have good production. The movie's good. You'll get word of mouth. People will show up. But the number one reason, and I've heard people talk about, the strikes and all this other stuff. No, I'm not giving none of that any type of leverage. I don't care. Because whether you had strikes or not, it does not matter, because the average person don't care nothing about that. They're going for the final product. And guess what? We have final products in theaters, and either they work or they don't, for all the reasons I mentioned. Maybe it's low, the ticket price is too high, the release window's too short, and people are just going to stay home, or the marketing wasn't good enough to get their attention. But let me give y'all the number one reason why movies are struggling right now. This goes back to a very basic phrase, and it's a very basic question that I would say needs a little bit more context. And stop me if any of y'all have never said this, but when you look at movies like Furiosa, when you look at a movie like Fall Guy, when you look at a movie like Garfield, what question comes up with any of those? Indulge me. If some of y'all can think of the number one question that comes to mind when I say Furiosa, Fall Guy, and Garfield, is there a certain question that immediately pops up in your mind? Because I know there's one question that comes up for me. Who asked for these? Who asked for any of these? I didn't. Now, let me give a little context as to what that really means, because I think it gets thrown out there. Because let's be fair, no one really asks for a lot of movies, but sometimes we get them and sometimes we like them. Sure. But here's the underlying problem. The problem is with the whole who asked for this, it really is a question of, was there ever demand for this? Because this goes back to a fundamental concept in economics: supply and demand. If fans have a demand for something, it's up to the studios to supply it, right? And sometimes the studios will give a supply, they'll give us a movie, and we'll be like, oh, we didn't even know we needed this. Thank you, right? But the problem is with those couple of movies, Fall Guy, I didn't even know that this was based off a 1980s show. I didn't even know that. I had no clue. And Fall Guy clearly appealed to only those people that probably recognized that it was based off of some 80s show. Because I'm more than positive most people under 30 probably didn't know it was based off a TV show. And if we're being honest, Ryan Gosling is not a blockbuster star making type of person. He's a good actor, but he's not someone like, hey, let's go watch that Ryan Gosling movie. That's not what he does. He's a good actor, but he's not The Rock. He's not Tom Cruise. Furiosa, when Mad Max was done, Fury Road, and the idea of, I want to do, George Miller was like, we should do a Furiosa movie. I was like, why? I'm not interested in her character. Who asked for that? Who told you that people wanted? We enjoyed Charlize Theron being on it. Yes, she was cool, but I didn't need no backstory. I don't care why she's there or how she got there. Last I checked, it's a Mad Max franchise. I don't need her story. And Garfield, Garfield is probably one of the biggest misses I could think of, because Garfield is a character, even as a kid, and I watched Garfield cartoons. I didn't care about Garfield at all. I'd watch the cartoon because I was a kid. It was a cartoon. It was on. I'd watch it. I never got no Garfield toys. I never got no Garfield clothes. I never got no Garfield, bed sets or nothing. Garfield was popular to people that read newspapers. Hey, kids, a newspaper was kind of like the internet, but on paper. Yeah, it used to come out. They'd throw it. There was no, the paper boy. That was a guy that would deliver it. He was kind of like the internet on a bike. He would throw that paper at the house, and your parents and grandparents, they would pick up that paper. They didn't have phones that were cellular, or, they were on the phone cord, and they had to read it to get all their news and their comics. And there was no streaming. That's just how they got their entertainment. So Garfield comes off to me as someone who was in their 60s or 70s was like, you know what the kids today will like? Good old Garfield, right? Am I right? And nobody in that studio said, sir, no one under 40 cares about Garfield. Now, let me give you the contrary to that. You look at something like Mario. You look at something like Barbie. Yes, Mario, Barbie, those came from a longer time, but they stayed generationally relevant. My kids have watched Barbie TV shows. There are Barbie cartoons. People, little kids to this day and adults still play Mario Kart. Those franchises, IPs have stayed relevant. I couldn't even tell you. My kids probably couldn't even tell you if there was a Garfield cartoon that they actively watch. My kids came up to me and was like, Daddy, can you take us to go see If? I asked them, is it Tuesday? They said no, so we didn't go see it. But it was interesting to me because while we were sitting there was a picture of Garfield right there on the table. And I was like, don't y'all want to see Garfield? And they was like, we don't know what that is. I was like, so y'all would rather go see If, this made up imaginary story, whatever, probably because they seen the commercials, over this cartoon? Now, I know that's just my kids, but I'm like, based off of y'all box office records and stuff, it seems like my kids ain't that far off. And here's another example. The same way, this is all about demand. Who the hell asked for another Indiana Jones movie? Did you? I didn't. And what happened with that? So for me, I'm under the impression that the reason why these movies are not doing well is because nobody wanted them in the first place. There was no interest. There was no well to be tapped to make these things viable for the community. Now, somebody might come out and say, E-Man, you wrong. You're just wrong. It's not true. And I would say, let me give you a counterexample to prove my point. Deadpool and Wolverine. Guess what they just did? Deadpool and Wolverine is already heating up 8 weeks before its debut, having already collected 8 million in the first day ticket sales. 8 million is pretty remarkable for a rated R movie. And just because of that, Deadpool's ticket sales in a post-COVID history, its current cash bests the 24-hour advanced ticket sales of The Batman, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and John Wick 4. What does all that tell you? The ticket prices are still the same. The streaming window is still the same. The marketing is fantastic with that disgusting popcorn bucket. But the demand is there. Deadpool has demonstrated all 4 of those points in a positive way. And what does that tell me? That if people want it, they won't care about the release window. If people demand it, they won't care about how much the ticket price costs. If the marketing is good, they're going to show up. So what's the excuse now? My question for y'all is, where are the think piece articles for all the non-superhero movie fatigue? Because that's clearly what's going on, right? Right? Because Deadpool and Wolverine, that might make $1 billion. We're not going to hear about superhero fatigue then. But are we going to hear about the non-superhero movie fatigue that's happening with all these other movies that did nobody care about? Rather than talking about the fact that those non-superhero movies are just doing bad, they'd rather pile on superhero movies when they happen to be bad. And once again, this goes back to my basic point. People will go and do whatever they got to do to watch things that they believe has great quality. I think there's all the hope in the world that people believe that Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be good quality and it's going to be worth going to see. Now, it's totally possible that Deadpool and Wolverine flop, but at the end of the day, people are still going to go give it a shot and it's going to make a ton of money. But the theater industry as a whole needs to get its act together. Stop trying to make movies about things that do not have a connection with the young and old generation. If it's something that only 40-year-olds are going to like, it's not going to be successful. We got jobs, we tired, and we already paying for streaming. We're not trying to go see everything like that. It's not going to happen. Now, if it only appeals to kids, you probably have a better shot because, listen, if my kids harass me enough, maybe I'll go ahead and go. You know, y'all get y'all money. But if y'all don't have something that bridges all across the board, it's not going to work. And that's why I was also saying with G.I. Joe, is G.I. Joe going to be successful? Because, yeah, as you know, people over 30, we know about G.I. Joe, but my goodness, do the young kids care about G.I. Joe? Because y'all sure enough haven't done anything with it for the younger generation. That sounds like a misstep to me waiting to happen. Anyway, what do y'all think about those 4 reasons that I gave for the state of the movie business industry? What do you think about, the non-superhero movie fatigue? Is that a thing? Is it a myth? I don't know. Whatever you guys think, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. See, this is why y'all have to watch. Because y'all going to get takes that everybody else ain't saying. Y'all going to get information. Y'all going to get perspectives that all these other YouTube channels y'all cheat on me with, they not going to give you this. They not going to give you the real. Okay? Just letting y'all know. Diddy, what you got? My 2 cents on why the theaters are struggling. Why go to the theater when I could wait a month or 2 and it'll be on streaming? Perfect. Yes. Yeah. What was that? Point number 2. Exactly. If it's coming to streaming, why? What is like the only reason I would think people would be willing to go again is if you're a fan of the whole thing, and 2, if you just don't want things to be spoiled for you. If you want to hurry up, get there because I don't know, something great is going to happen, you don't want to spoil. That's the only reason I could see somebody rushing to the theater for something. So yeah, great point. Thank you so much for that. Oh my gosh, they done canceled my order. I don't like that. You know, when you order Caribbean food and they hit you with the we don't have that. Oh, I just wanted my food and they didn't give me my food. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm so hungry. And they all about to close. Anybody, can somebody give me some? 9:45? Everybody, oh, nobody gonna give me my food. I'm not gonna eat. Oh, I can't find nothing, y'all. Dang it, man. Dang, Jamaican spots killing me. All right, Zia, what you got? Bring back movie memberships and pricing worth having, and quit streaming movies 2 to 3 weeks after theater release. I still love the theater, but I understand why people are opting out now. You know, I don't know if that's going to be enough, because if the movies are things that you're not checking for and you're not interested in, would you still keep your membership? You know, like you might start being like, yo, why am I paying for this and I ain't nothing good coming out? You know, but I do think that would be a good alternative that they could try. I do think that would be a good alternative. Man, hold on. I'm sorry. But thank you so much for that, Zia. I appreciate you. That's exactly what I ordered too. I wanted the oxtails, but I knew they run out of oxtails. Dang, I'm gonna try and order one more time. Hold on. I'm gonna just give me the chicken then. If I can't get that, just give me the chicken. Please. Please. 1 second, y'all. I'm so sorry. I know this is so unprofessional. I had a hankering and I just wanted this. Can I just have that? Oh, wait. Can I get the egg roll too? Hold on. What an egg roll at? Huh. Oh, they don't have the chicken egg rolls? Come on. I'm sorry. This is so ghetto. I'm so sorry. Y'all know I be trying to eat before I do anything, so I don't be on here like this. It's so rude. I apologize. I got to get a beef patty though. Please, can I get this, please? Don't cancel my order. Okay. Whew, sorry. They be closing early, y'all. So I'm sorry. I had to try something. They be hitting you with your order's been canceled. We don't have that. Just say that. Just say we don't have that. Just say that. They finna cancel this again. I'm gonna be so mad. All right, what else do we have? All right, Zia, thank you so much. Jay, what you got? With Wolverine's popcorn bucket being his mouth, fingers crossed Deadpool's will be the opposite. Or I don't want neither one of those. Neither one of them. I don't want none of it. No, thank you. Pass. No. I don't even want to think about it. I don't, because that popcorn bucket, which again, go check my channel. I put it up there. Y'all can see it if you want. But yikes. And let me just say that once again, I've always said Deadpool has been the epitome of great marketing. And I stress this to y'all. This is the type of stuff that we have to communicate to the studios. Thank you, Marvel Studios. Thank you, Ryan Reynolds, for not spoiling more of Deadpool and all the fun surprises by, constantly showing us feature footage and, oh, here's another 30 seconds of the movie, and, oh, here's the first 2 minutes of the movie. I don't need to see that. I'm already convinced. I'm going to see the movie. I bought out a theater so we can all watch it. Like, why are you showing me more of the goods? You already got me. But all this other stuff, I saw a Hugh Jackman Deadpool commercial for beer. I was like, yo, that's what you got to do. The popcorn bucket, hilarious. You're staying relevant. You're promoting the movie. You're not spoiling nothing. That's how you should market all movies. Give us that little teaser. Show us what the movie's about. And then market the characters. Market the property. Market the actors. You don't have to show me all the movie. Golly. Quiet one. I think numbers are down because this is the aftermath remnants of the strike, lackluster writing before the strike to get folks to come out of the house. I mean, maybe. I don't think so, only because, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of movies that got delayed that should have came out this year. So that is true. But you can't blame the strike on what we currently have, because what we currently have was either done already or they had time to finish it. So, I mean, like, seriously, what excuse are we giving to Garfield? What excuse are we giving to Furiosa? What excuse are we giving to, like, how did the strike affect Fall Guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, the strike definitely didn't hurt Indiana Jones. We just wasn't checking for it. So, I mean, maybe, I could see how it could have I could see how the strike has an overall effect in general, because maybe other movies would have came out that were supposed to and would have raised up the box office and we wouldn't be having this conversation. So you could be right on that point, but I can't give no excuse to those other things that have come out and they just still whack. Famous, what you got? Where'd you get that shirt? I don't remember. I didn't make this one, so I can't even sell this to y'all. The internets, that's the best. If I can find it, I'll try and give a link to y'all. Did I get it? I don't even think I got it on Amazon. If I got it on Amazon, I'll see if I can get y'all the link. I don't think I got it even on here. Did I? Nope. Wait. Nope. Yeah, I didn't even get this on Amazon. So I don't know, guys. Yeah, Amazon ain't got it. But I had this a while ago, so I'm sorry. Ooh, hold on. What's that? Ooh, I want to get that. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm over here shopping. Yeah, sorry about that, but yeah, I can't help you. Tony, what you got? If Kathleen Kennedy would just stop talking, it would instantly improve her and Star Wars. Don't hate strong female or Star Wars fans. Don't hate strong female characters. We hate pushing agendas and poorly written female characters and making all of the male idiots. So, if that is the criticism, make that criticism. And once again, as I said, if you have constructive criticism about actual things, now I don't know what pushing agendas mean. Like, what does that mean? Be clear about that, right? Be specific about it. If you're going to talk about a criticism, don't hide behind general talking points that other toxic people are using. Okay, does that make sense? Do not hide behind, you're just making it woke, because woke has been conflated to mean a lot of negative things. So if you're going to say something like, okay, let me help those Star Wars fans, the love romance between Kelly Marie Tran's character and Finn, that was stupid. That's bad writing because it came out of nowhere. Now, if you want to talk about pushing that narrative, that's a constructive, and I would think most people might agree, that's a good way to critique. But if you're just saying, oh, you're pushing a narrative, you're pushing an agenda, what do you mean? No one knows what you mean. So if you're not clear about that, then that is going to get construed as, pushing an agenda. You know who else I've heard say that? Those other sexist people, those other racist people. So if you don't want to be confused with that, be clear, be specific, because otherwise you're going to get lumped in with the rest of them. Now, Tony, I don't know what your position is specifically. I'm just saying, if you want to be clear, say that, hey, didn't like the fact that Rey didn't have enough screen time to actually show her development. That's an actual criticism. But if you just be like, oh, they got women up there, now you sound sexist. So if you're not clear, I don't care if you're a fan or not, you got to be specific. Because if you're just throwing out terms and you're throwing out negativity without context or specificity, you're going to sound just as toxic as you claim. And no one's going to be able to tell the difference. So, do better. You don't give people reason to believe you sound just like those other male idiots and other toxic people. Stand outside of them. But thank you so much, Tony. I appreciate you. Quiet one, what you got? E, do you think Hollywood relies too much on nostalgia nowadays, that it waters down their creativity and fresh ideas for audiences, and they hit the easy button of nostalgia and need to take more audience polls? So I think that what ends up happening is a combination of things. Nostalgia is not a bad thing. X-Men 97 just proved that. You can take me back while still pushing us forward, right? So it's okay if you tap into the nostalgia, if you don't stay there, if that makes sense. Creed, when Creed came out, we got all the nostalgia with Rocky, Apollo, but they moved us forward. So it's a balancing act that needs to happen. Nostalgia is actually a good business practice because, especially given the state of Hollywood and movie going and people wanting to go to theaters, people are less willing to give unknown new movies a shot with their money but they will do it for something familiar. And if it's nostalgia, if it's a recognizable IP like Barbie, they'll be like, all right, you can have my $20 now. So then I also think you have the problem of a lot of the decision makers. Now, keep in mind, this is a twofold thing in the industry. One, you have old producers or old executives that are in their 60s, 70s, etc., that are making these decisions on what gets a green light or not. And then two, you also have the financiers. You have the people that are giving the studios money. Those people are old too. And guess what? The studio might be like, hey, yo, we got this movie. It's about the first rich black king in Africa. Can we get 40-60 million dollars? And you might have some old rich white guy that's like, a what? A monster what? A who? No. Who's the white savior? No, that's okay. You know, and that can alter the movies, right? So you're going to have to deal with all those cooks in the kitchen, and the kitchen might be very old. It might be very outdated. Like we just talked about, Fall Guy from the 80s. What are y'all doing? Who told you that that was something that needed to be made? So I'm more interested, and maybe I'm a little biased with this. I'm waiting for millennials to start taking over those studios. I'm waiting for maybe even Gen X people to start taking over those studios and decision making, so that way they can sit here and be like, yeah, we need that kind of movie. Because I've told y'all, even a He-Man movie, as I grew up with He-Man, I'm still a little iffy on that. That might be nice for me, but is it nice for the 12-year-old that might want that, that might be watching this? I don't know. What you say here? Check. Oh, yeah. Ooh, thank you. Okay, they say they're picking it up. So I think we all right. Thank you so much, Quiet One. Appreciate you. Tony, what you got? The only Garfield movie we should remember is Bill Murray movie. I don't remember that one. I don't. But then again, I'm not a Garfield fan. So if y'all thought that one was good, great. I could not tell you very much about it. I don't remember it. I just never really cared about them like that. I just didn't. Oh man, hold on, Tracy. I almost forgot you. I'm sorry. How does new Green Lantern series get a trio of award-winning writers with Lost, Watchmen, Ozark, and the new X-Men movie has come up with a Brit? Hey, that's decision making, right? That listen, you got to give credit where it's due. Now again, we don't know. Maybe this X-Men movie is going to be great. We don't know, but listen, this might be the one time that I would say that Marvel might have gotten outdone. Because if you told me Damon was coming to do X-Men, you have my attention. But yeah, not so much. Anthony, what you got? People say that they are sick of the MCU, DC, but look what happened to the box office as soon as there were no movies released. They are necessary evil. Yeah. I mean, we've been saying this. Like, we've been saying that, like, to the Scorseses out there, that you would probably not get a lot of funding for those smaller movies if these MCU, DC comic book movies didn't make all the money for the studio. That's where they get a lot of their money, to give other films a startup and a chance. But, they want to complain, for whatever reason. I mean, I'm waiting for that megalopolis or whatever. I'm waiting for that movie to come out. I'm waiting for it to flop, and then for Coppola to blame comic book movies in some way, shape, or form. Some way. I don't know. Let's see. Pickens, what's up? I also think budgets have simply gotten out of control. This is facts. There's a reason why Many of the big studios have launched entire divisions dedicated to just making horror films, and Gen Z loves them too. That is facts. Because the problem, if we're being honest, when you make a movie that's like 200, 300 million dollars, 400 million dollars, because you want to pay. Remember Fast and the Furious? They paid all them, John Cena and all, Brie Larson. They paid all these people like almost double, like tens of millions of dollars. And it was like, for what? For like 5 minutes of screen time? What? Why? And guess what? When those movies cost more, remember I told y'all, the movie theaters don't make all their money off of the tickets. The studios do. The studios get the bigger chunk of that percentage in the first couple of weeks. And then the longer a movie's in theaters, then the theater starts to make they cut, the percentage increases. So if the studio is sitting here making a crazy amount of money, I'm sorry, if they're costing a lot of money with their budgets and stuff, they're not about to go offset that cost anywhere else. They're going to have you pay for it. It's just like with streaming. When the studios want to add more movies and add more streaming, they raise the prices of your monthly stream. It's the same thing that's happening with the theaters. I'm not going to name no names, but, a movie theater that, I was familiar with, I was talking to one of the owners, and they were talking about how the movie studios, they hate $5 Tuesdays. They hate it. I don't know if y'all remember, but $5 Tuesdays used to be, when it first came out, it used to be that very first Tuesday. The very first Tuesday. But because of the studios, they forced it to be like the next week or two. And then the movie would, be down to $5 or whatever. So a lot of the promotions and stuff like that, that's from the studios. When those promotions get more expensive, or if they go away, that's the studios putting pressure on the theaters to be like, yo, we need to get more money. But yes, those budgets, they be out of control, and they got to fix that. They got to fix that. Kiki, we not going to be here for 3 hours, he said. Oh man. Thank you, Kiki. It's not my fault. It's your fault now. How many topics we got left? I think we only got one more. No, we got two more. Dang it! Thanks, Kiki. Whatever. I failed. Tony, back at it. Thoughts? Cool World. Thoughts on Cool World? It was pretty much Roger Rabbit on drugs. Definitely would be a interesting for you and your daughter. If I recall, I don't think Cool World was a movie I had any business watching. Because I remember I was watching it for the wrong reasons. Because I was like, wait a minute, who is this, and what is going on? Nah, yeah, I don't think I'd be watching Cool World with my daughters. My daughters are 7 and 10. I do have a teenager, but I'm not watching that with them. Roger Rabbit, maybe, but nah, I ain't watching that with them. But I don't remember what happened in Cool World, to be very honest with you. Like, I watched it when it came out because I rented that. Listen, I went to Blockbuster. I told my dad, listen, it's a cartoon. Can I get this? So I remember I did watch it, but I could not tell you what it was about at all. Oh man, blast from the past. Thanks for that. JN, Hollywood forfeits $30 billion a year by not engaging diverse audiences. Yeah, we actually talked about that very report a couple weeks ago. But yeah, that is true. Like, the less diverse they get, the more money they lose, which is wild. From a previous chat, think this is a big issue. A lot of these movies don't seem to be marketed to diverse audiences, unlike Barbie. Well, I don't know. I don't know, because movies and marketing depends on budgets. The budgets can be something else crazy in itself. Whether how it's marketed and who it's marketed to, I don't know if I have enough research to really claim it one way or another. Like if The Color Purple comes out. Do I know it's only shown in Atlanta? I don't know. I don't know. But I wouldn't put it past them either. Tony, back at it. All right, what you got? My criticism for Lucasfilm, all right, is that they are all about pushing for more diversity in films and TV shows. But when you have characters like you said, Rose and especially Reva, where the character just feels unnecessary to the story. I think that those are mutually exclusive. Pushing for diversity and inclusion means having characters that are just not white centered and they will be shown on the screen, right? And I think that they've tried to do better with it with the TV shows. They've tried. I mean, The Acolyte is coming up. Amandla Steinberg is going to be in there. You do have the guy from Squid Games. He's a main character as well. So that's Asian representation, Black representation. So I don't think that their push for diversity is the same thing or on the same level as a character is just not written well. I agree. Reva's character was not written very well, but I don't think that it has anything to do with the push for diversity and inclusion. Those are two separate arguments to be made. The push to have Daisy Ridley as a lead for Star Wars is great. That was a good thing to have a woman actually be centered as the main protagonist in Star Wars. It was a separate bad thing that the trilogies were all terrible, that the trilogy was terrible. That's a whole completely different thing. So I think what gets people into trouble is when you conflate the two together. If you think that having, and I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about in general, if you think just having diversity in general means you will therefore have bad characters, that's a problematic issue in itself. And that's where people get into trouble with their criticisms. So once again, be specific with your criticism. If you just don't like how a character is written, say that. Just say that. I don't like how this character was written. The story did not add up. There was not enough depth. Talk about the writing. Talk about the acting. That's fair game. But if you're mixing in the fact that why did they put a woman in there? Why is there a black in here? Yeah, now you're getting a little messy. So it's a problem at that point. So it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it. My goodness, Tony is coming through. Okay, Tony, what you got? It is poorly written and not that good. And Ahsoka villains were some of the most dull and boring and absolutely hated what they did to Boba Fett, taking one of the coolest Star Wars characters ever taken away, or what made him. Totally agree with you. Totally agree. No, listen, I was the main person talking about how messed up Boba Fett was written. The man got here and got outshined by a whole nother person. Like, how you have another Mandalorian come in? Fine. Get it. Bad. The Ahsoka villains? Meh. Yes, but this is better to talk about the actual characters and what was done with them than to try and conflate diversity and inclusion with them. That you can leave that part out of it. You want to talk about the plot, the structure, the dialogue, the acting, have that conversation. I don't think anyone is going to disagree with you that Boba Fett fell short. No one's going to disagree with that. But if you start sitting here talking about diversity and inclusion and you're putting that together with, I'm telling you, that's murky waters. Don't do it. Don't do it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. Yep, I'm not gonna make it. Yep. Did my food come? Are we good? Okay, they say they wrapping up my order. We'll see. We'll see. I got two left. Captain America 4. Y'all movie. We got an update. This was fresh off the presses, so this was hot. This just came in. But we got an update now about the brand new Marvel movie. There have been a lot of rumors talking about what was going on with this film. And it seems as though now we have the Hollywood Reporter, so a more reputable outlet, kind of giving us a little bit more credence, a little bit more into the rumors to substantiate what we heard in the past. We've heard about different characters, actors who are going to be in it and different things. So let's get into what we can expect here and what's the latest with Captain America 4. It says here, Sam Wilson is back in action. Captain America Brave New World began a round of additional photography. So additional photography, that means that they just did the reshoots. Now keep in mind, the rumor that we had heard months ago was that Captain America 4 was not doing very well with the testing, and that the action scenes were terrible and the politics were boring. And those two things, for any Captain America movie, you have to have those right, because Captain America is all about action and politics. So if you can't get that, it's a problem. We heard that they were getting another rumor was that Marvel was hiring a new writer just to come in to do these big reshoots. And this was not just a regular reshoot, according to the rumors. They were saying that this was going to be a major reshoot to redo some major action scenes. So we'll see what happens. And then we got this. Now, we talked about this before, but it seems like this is being confirmed here. Giancarlo Esposito is officially on the call sheet in an undisclosed, but sources say, villainous role. Now, it says here that the shoot will run 22 days, according to insiders, and among the added elements will be some new action sequences. So it seems like that rumor is actually true, that they are going to be adding new action sequences, and 22 days, that's actually not that bad. And for Giancarlo, it says here he's playing a villainous role. Now he said that he was going to be playing a new role that we didn't know about, that we never heard of, or that has not been seen in the MCU and no one can predict. Okay, cool. Now, I think we had talked about how he could be Norman Osborn. Could be. We do have the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. We got the waves. They're clearly making him a brother in the animated series. Maybe that's the case. But I always said that was a little too easy. But now, and he did say that he was coming in to the MCU very soon. So it is very possible that if he is coming in soon, Captain America would make sense, because right after Deadpool, it's going to be Captain America. Now, here's the thing. Giancarlo also mentioned that his character was going to potentially have a Disney Plus series. And if he is a villain, now I think it would make more sense if he was a Norman Osborn, only because Norman Osborn does have connections with, the Dark Secret Avengers, and he does do all this other stuff, which would make sense for the Thunderbolts down the road. That's the only reason I'm saying it could make sense. And of course, if he's dealing with a character in Captain America, it's possible that, you know, we've heard the rumors of how um the president, Harrison Ford or whatever, Thunderbolt Ross, um he might want to use the Avengers in a certain way, right? Or in a different way. And Sam wants to make a new Avengers and bring them all back or whatever. So I could totally see a Giancarlo type of character. Like I said, I think it's Norman Osborn, but it might be somebody else. It could be someone completely different. And it would not be a surprise if they just made somebody up. It's very possible. I'm seeing some interesting comments in the live chat, so I'll look that up later. If that is the case, I'm gonna let y'all look at that, but we'll have to see. Now here's some fun facts, some fun, interesting here. Stuff that's interesting. It says that Marvel moved Captain America 4, the release date, from July 26, 2024. That's when Deadpool's coming out. And they moved that to February 14th, 2025. Which gave execs time to hone in on what they've needed to get out of the reshoots and taken feedback from test screenings. Now, I've told y'all that is probably one of the reasons why Marvel's plan of slowing down and not doing as many things was a good thing. Because if they had to hurry up and jump from one movie to the next, they wouldn't have time to listen. They wouldn't have time to do reshoots. They wouldn't have time to fix things. So slowing down is actually a good thing for Marvel. It's actually a good thing. And this hopefully is going to give us a better Captain America 4. Now, here's one thing that I need y'all to remember. If Captain America 4 is bad, if Captain America 4 is bad, then how bad was it before? Woo, that's just something I just So this also says, despite reports of multiple reshoots on the movie, so far this is the only one. Okay, so not multiple reshoots, just one. That sounds positive. That's good news. It says, in fact, one insider says Brave New World will cost significantly less than the Marvels overall. Okay, that's even better. Listen, we don't need super big budget films. We do not need that. I'm okay with that. I'm very, very okay with that. That to me sounds good. Yeah, I like that they're keeping the budgets down. Now, this was one point that I wanted to read for y'all. Y'all let me know how you feel about this. It says Marvel, as usual, has a lot riding on the success of Captain America 4. The film centers on a black hero stepping into the costume of an iconic and well-known character, one which wears and carries the symbol of the American flag. Some believe that in terms of its potency and its relevancy, it has the potential to have a similar impact as Black Panther. Sam? Y'all think Sam gonna have the same impact as Black Panther? Who thought that? What they say? Some believe. Who are these some? Who are these some? I'm just saying, Black Panther, and let's go back to 2018, was the very first leading black superhero, not somebody just donning a mantle, but a superhero that was the king of an African nation that had never been colonized or enslaved. And they had the most technologically advanced everything in the world. What the hell does Sam have? The fact that he took America's symbol and put it on his chest? Y'all think that's going to, do y'all think that that's going to get people, black folks, to go get their cousins and their aunties and their friends to hurry up and come to the theater to watch this? The man got his wings from Wakanda. I don't believe you. You need more people. The man can't even fight. Show me a superhero that the black community has rallied against or rallied for that ain't have no hands. Blank Man? Is that where we're going with it? I don't know. Yeah, I need them to not make these type of comparisons. Like, I'm 95% sure that Captain America 4 is not even close to having any type of cultural impact similar to Black Panther. I don't see that happening. And it's coming out in February? Oh, just because it's in Black History Month? Anyway, guys, what do y'all think about this Captain America update? How do you feel about all of this? Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And let me know who you think Giancarlo's character will be. All right. Eagles fan. I will go look that up. Thank you. I will go look that up. I do think that that is interesting. And I do think that you have a good point. And I see that as being very possible. I do see it. I'm not going to put it up just in case if it's spoilery, but I do think you have a good point with that. Good call. Quiet one. Sam Wilson literally has a whole Wakanda Rent-A-Center outfit and shield. Yes. Ain't nobody checking for his lemon pepper Wakanda wings. Like, what are we talking about? Like, bro, stop. You ain't finna be doing nothing crazy with this. Natalie, back at it. I'm late. We talked Blade yet? Yeah, you right on time. You right on time. Blade. When it comes to Blade, I think that there is a lot that we can talk about, especially when it comes to the history of this movie. We've had, so it's going on 5 years. 5 years with Blade since it was announced. We've had a director fallout. We've had a terrible script where Blade was regulated to a third or fourth character in his own movie. We had Marvel step up finally. Finally, they were late, but they finally stepped up. They fired the writer. They got Michael Green, the guy who gave us Blue-Eyed Samurai, who gave us Logan. They gave us that. They got a new director from Lovecraft Country. Yes, we had the writer's strike and the actor strike. There was nothing we could do about that. And Mahershala Ali himself said he was happy. Production was supposed to start this November. And now, like clockwork, we have yet another delay. It says here, according to Daniel Richmond, who's been, decent with the rumors, A new writer is currently being sought out to give the script another major overhaul. Although he does not know, although he does note that Marvel has finally nailed down the overall story and backs up the earlier report that cameras are expected to roll later this year in Mexico or Brazil. A casting call has also gone out for a male villain, but the name of the character wasn't revealed. Now, this is what Mahershala Ali said last year. We're working on Blade. That's the best I could tell you. I'm really encouraged with the direction of the project. I think we'll be back at it relatively soon. I'm sincerely encouraged in terms of where things are at and who's on board and who's leading the way as far as the writing of the script and the directing and all of that. So I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. Mahershala Ali is not getting any younger. I think the only positive thing that we can get from this rumor is that they're getting another writer, but they have the story down. Keep in mind, at least according to the rumors, Mahershala Ali has final script approval, which I like. I like that. So if he doesn't like the script, he doesn't have to be forced to do it and he can hold it up. So I do like that because I believe Mahershala respects Blade and likes what and knows what it means to the culture. I think he knows that. So I'm okay with him being picky. This is a 2-time Oscar Award winner now. And at least they didn't say that production is delayed. So maybe, I mean, it's about to be June. If production is supposed to start in November, maybe this new person that comes in and writes it only needs a month or two to just make a couple tweaks. Maybe. I'm trying to give y'all the bright side on this. I don't know. They sitting here talking about that they're getting another male villain. I mean, Lilith, who is going to be played by Mia Goth, is already attached. I mean, okay. I don't know who this male villain is. This male villain could be another side character for all we know. You know, a henchman or something. I mean, I don't think it's Dracula because I feel like Dracula is like Blade's big bad. I feel like that would be a little too quick. Like in the first movie, just jump right up to Dracula. Like it took Blade, you know, almost 3 movies to get up to Dracula. So I don't think it's Dracula. I don't know. It could just be whoever. I don't know. But you know, I guess it's somewhat good news for Mahershala Ali because my man is still out there eating. Because it was just reported that he's got yet another movie coming out, and it says Mahershala Ali, 2-time Oscar winner, is in talks to join Scarlett Johansson in the new Jurassic World feature. Looks like they're going to have the same guy that did the Jurassic Park 1 and 2 movies in the 90s. He's going to come back and write the script. It says that Universal has a theatrical release of July 2025, which means it will be hustling like a velociraptor in post-production. Wait a minute. Mahershala must have a small role because Blade is supposed to come out, I think, in 2025. I think. I could be wrong. Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is not good news. It's not good news. This production update is not encouraging. I'm glad Mahershala is not suffering. I'm glad that he's still able to work and do his thing, but I wish Marvel would treat Blade the same way that they treat and put the energy behind Fantastic Four. Because Fantastic Four is important to Marvel internally, but Blade is the reason why we have the MCU at all. There would be no MCU if Blade, and shout out to Wesley Snipes, had not saved Marvel in the first place. In my opinion, Blade should get way more time, attention, money, resources than Fantastic Four right now. But that's it. I don't have any other positive stuff to even give you guys with this. Yeah, I got nothing else. So that's all, guys. What do you guys think about this Blade update? How do you feel? What do you think? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments down below. Michael, what you got? Game, recognized game. You looking kind of unfamiliar right now. Sam Wilson. Come on, man. Sam ain't even hit the theaters yet. Let him at least, fly out on the, fly out or something. JN, call Spike Lee to save Blade. Actually, might not be bad. Might not be bad. But it's not the director that's the problem at this point. The problem is the writing. Which is baffling to me because I'm like, Blade is simple. Black man, have vampire, kill vampires. That's it. This got to be. Listen, where's the John Wick director? Just all you need is some action. That's it. Blade, there's a big bad vampire. She's trying to take over the world. Go stop her. Got it. That's Blade. Quiet one. The some are saying Sam will be like Black Panther when actually Blade would be the closest to have an impact of a Black Panther movie. I agree with that. Now I don't think it would have the same impact for the financial side because it's still a rated R movie, but I do think that it would have a cultural impact. It would have a stronger cultural impact. I'll put it like this. Which movie do you think would have people dressing up more? Because when Cap 4 comes out, I don't know if we're really going to see a lot of black folks dressing up as Captain America versus a lot of black folks getting some black trench coats, some sunglasses, and walking into Blade like that. I know I'll be dressed up that way. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like culturally, yes, Blade will absolutely be a lot better and deeper than Cap 4. I don't see that happening. I mean, listen, and I'm gonna say it now because I said it before. The dress code for when Blade comes out is all black. Okay, I'm gonna say it now so that don't nobody try and steal this and say we don't know, somebody made it. Listen, when Blade comes out eventually with Mahershala Ali, the official dress code is all black. You can do black leather. You can bring out the black MJs, the mics, whatever you want to do. Black Air Force Ones, don't care. Black shades, black everything. Okay, that's the official dress code for Blade. You heard it here first. I don't want to hear nothing different. Mr. Mitchell, what you got? We need the same care received on Black Panther extended to Blade. Hard to say the same about Cap 4 since Anthony Mackie doesn't have juice. Recast? I wouldn't say recast. I mean, listen, give him time. Give him time to cook. I've been fair with Anthony Mackie. I've sold y'all, but despite any criticism I've had, I still want to let the guy at least try. This might be it. This might be the movie that does it for him. I don't know, but you got to give the guy a shot. So no, I would not say recast Anthony Mackie. I would not. I say no, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, that's it. I apologize. I'm 15 minutes late. My food just came. We'll see if they had everything, but I doubt it. But we'll see. I want to thank y'all for taking the time to hang out with your boy. Appreciate y'all so much. We have a lot of stuff coming up soon. I got a lot of movies that are coming up, so make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you're tuned in. I'll be dropping some reactions out of theater reactions. We have The Acolyte coming up, House of Dragon coming up, The Boys coming up. I'm gonna be busy. We gonna be talking. It's happening. Okay. But anyway, guys, have a fantastic rest of the week. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. Wash your hands, wash your butts, and everything in between. And until next time, see you guys later.